Well, this will be an interesting conversation, to say the least. But before we jump into this conversation, before we officially jump into the whole things regarding Xbox news, let's first hear it from Mr. Phil Spencer.
For 18 years and 3 generations, we've designed Xbox consoles to power your dreams. We see a future where you're instantly absorbed in your games, where worlds are even more lifelike, immersive, responsive, and surprising. Where you are at the center of your gaming experience. Next holiday, Xbox Series X will lead us into the future of console gaming. Our fastest, most powerful Xbox will set a new bar for performance, speed, compatibility. Developers around the globe are already hard at work building games for Xbox Series X. Our 15 Xbox game studios are developing the largest and most creatively diverse lineup of exclusive games in our history.
That was 4 years ago. Funny how 4 years can change so much. It makes you wonder what Phil Spencer is doing right now. Actually, I don't have to wonder. I think I know what he's doing right now. He's not on a Xbox Series X console. He's on a PC, which makes you wonder, why even create a console if you're not going to be using it, Phil Spencer? I never see him. Almost rarely, never ever see him on a console. Last seen 2 minutes ago online. I think Phil Spencer is hiding. You know, I thought about, should I even do this podcast? Should we even have this conversation? But this is going to be about not me roasting Xbox, not me roasting Phil Spencer. What this is going to be about, it's going to be about you guys. I want to hear what you have to say. I want to hear what you guys are thinking. What are your honest opinions about what's going on? And there's all sorts of opinions out there. You know, if you dig deep, if you do your research, there's all sorts of different opinions. I hear different opinions like, it's not the Xbox fault, it's the Bethesda's fault. Bethesda has some issues with their, partners that they have. Also, because Bethesda also has its own partners and developers that work within Bethesda. They're part of Bethesda whole development team. Some people saying it's Bethesda. Xenix Bethesda, which contains a bunch of other small little studios. And, Arcane Austin's one of them, right? So some people are saying, hey, this is not necessarily an Xbox fault. This is Bethesda. And because Bethesda is part of Xbox, that's why these decisions are being made. But I don't know. It makes you wonder. Doesn't the Xbox has a say in that? Doesn't the Xbox game studios have a say in that, to say, hey, well, sorry, Bethesda, if you're trying to, cut some corners and close down some of your own, development studios, that decision should be made from us, because we are, Xbox Game Studios, and you are part of the Xbox Game Studios. So there's many different opinions out there regarding what really happened, what really went down. And that's what I'm trying to do here. To hear yours opinions on what do you think is really going on. Even though I know it's all speculation, but I think it would make it for an interesting conversation for us to know exactly what went down. Forbidden Love, welcome. Forbidden Love says, I have done lots of thinking. I believe Game Pass is damaging this industry because it's unsustainable. In what way? Forbidden Love, would you mind elaborating? In what way is it unsustainable? The way I look at it, from my perspective, it's a service. I look at Game Pass as a service that can help me play certain games that normally I wouldn't be able to play because I don't have the money to buy those certain games. So when I look at the Game Pass, I look at it just as I look at PlayStation Plus. I get some benefits from it. The benefits to play these games, right? And God knows there's so many of them over there. We can go through the list of these games, right? These are the games that I can play at any given time, whether it's Xbox console, whether it's the PC, whether it's the virtual reality Meta Quest 3, right? It gives me the ability to actually play these games on the xCloud, anywhere I want to play it. Forbidden Love says, multiple studio shutdowns and probably more to follow, who knows. But the message is clear, Xbox does not care about the quality, the games like PlayStation does. Granted, they haven't brought anything recently to the table in the past, 3.5 years, I would say. But in my opinion, I think they do bring a value in terms of what you can play and where you can play it. You know what I mean? So in terms of a Game Pass service, I would say that they do give you a certain value. Even though it's $16, I mean, as a matter of fact, PlayStation Plus, it's more expensive. PlayStation Plus, it's $17.99. That's $18. And you're going to want to get the premium, of course. So, to me, when I look at the services, guys, and just hear me out here, I'll let everybody speak. Everybody will have their day in court of an opinion. But let me say this before you guys start talking. I look at Xbox and PlayStation services both giving us something that normally I wouldn't be able to have if I was just not having those services. Like, I wouldn't be able to try all those games on the PlayStation Plus, just like I wouldn't be able to try all of these games on the Xbox if I didn't have these services. So I don't think the service is the issue, in my opinion. The service, it's not an issue. The issue, in my opinion, is the lack of transparency from the Xbox. In my opinion, the issue is not this. There's nothing, I have no problem with this. Do you know how much these games costs to buy them separately? The issue is not this. The issue, in my opinion, when it comes to Xbox is the lack of transparency. They haven't been transparent. They haven't been 100% with their fans, telling them exactly what their plans are and what they're going to do. And they haven't been transparent with the studios that they bought. So I think the issue is the lack of transparency. But in terms of a service, this is fine by me. It satisfies me because I get to play these games for $16 a month. And I can save a bunch of money by checking out all of these games that I haven't played before. So that's my opinion about that. But anyway, let me see. Kemi. How you doing, Kemi? Goose Gaming, Phil Spencer literally said, bring great games to Xbox would not help them. That is the wrong mentality for someone in his position. Well, I don't know if you have heard what I played just earlier, but I'll play it again. There was a reason why I played this earlier, and I'll play it again. Again, we're going back, Andrew Guds, we're going back to what I just said, transparency. And here, I'll play it again, here.
For 18 years and 3 generations, we've designed Xbox consoles to power your dreams. We see a future where you're instantly absorbed in your games, where worlds are even more lifelike, immersive, responsive, and surprising. Where you are at the center of your gaming experience. Next holiday, Xbox Series X will lead us into the future of console gaming. Our fastest, most powerful Xbox will set a new bar for performance, speed, compatibility. Developers around the globe are already hard at work building games for Xbox Series X. Our 15 Xbox game studios are developing the largest and most creatively diverse lineup of exclusive games in our history.
All right, so that was not transparent. If you really think about it, you might as well just mark down those 4 studios out. That's about, what, 11 studios now, because he says 15 studios. Well, if you take down those other 4, that's 11 studios. So transparency has never been a something that Phil Spencer has really expressed in all of his stuff in the recent years. You know, he likes to give this hooray promises, right? And I've noticed that about him. Ever since Scorpio, he does a lot of promises. But he never stays true to those promises. I think that's one of the issues that I think is with the Microsoft Xbox currently, is they make these promises to lure us into this promised land that everything's going to be awesome here at the Xbox, and then they never deliver. They never bring on that promise. So I think the issue is, I would say, that with the lack of transparency. Honestly, that's the issue. The lack of transparency from Phil Spencer and Matt Booty, and they never were like straight up 100% honest with us as to what's really going on. Like, why are you buying these studios? What was the reason for buying these studios? Why are you going through this acquisition with the Activision and Blizzard? What's the benefit of the acquisition of this? What's the benefit of Bethesda if you're going to be, shutting down those other 4 studios there in partnership with Xenix Bethesda? What is the point of going to Japan to get a Japanese developers to work and make video games for you when you just shut them down and now they're not part of the Xbox game studios? So what's the point of throwing all this money away if you're not going to benefit from it. So I never felt like Phil Spencer was ever honest about the vision of the Xbox. You know, even on the Project Scorpio, short-lived Project Scorpio was released in 2017, like November 7th, 2017. And then it lived for a couple of years, 2018, 2019. And then in 2019, they announced they're going to stop production of Project Scorpio Xbox One X because they're releasing Series X. So what was the point of releasing, Project Scorpio? A short-lived Project Scorpio. I feel that he always has been this way, where he was never transparent. Like a good salesman, I would say he's a good salesman. He's a good salesman who can convince you this is why you should purchase this. And like he's pretty good with his words, obviously, but in terms of like what he has achieved, it hasn't been that good of progress. Now, in terms of Game Pass as a service, I don't have an issue with this. See, this to me is not an issue. To me, I'm fine with this. This saves me money, so that way I don't have to spend, which the money I don't have. I don't know about you guys. Maybe you guys are fully loaded. I don't know your life, but I'm speaking for myself. To me, every penny, every cent count. And I'm grateful that there's services like Game Pass and PlayStation Plus, so that way I can try out these different types of games, so I can play them. You know what I mean? Like recently, today I was playing a Mankind Divided, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. And the only way I could have played that is through PlayStation Plus. So there's a benefit of these two services. So the way I look at it is not, the Game Pass is not an issue here. The issue is the lack of transparency. From the lack of leadership from, Phil Spencer, I guess we have to put him out there because he is the head of Xbox, right? So that's the way I feel about it. But let me see what you guys are saying. I argue the PlayStation Plus is a better value than the Game Pass. They usually have a newer and bigger games as far as on a AAA level. It depends. It's a subjective, personal perspective, and I'm not gonna waste my time into personal perspectives. I look at it I benefit from the both. If I only stuck with the PlayStation Plus, well, guess what? I'm gonna be missing out on the Hellblade 2. If I'm stuck only on PlayStation Plus and I don't have a Game Pass, but then I'm missing out on the Indiana Jones or what have you, etc., etc. So, or I'm missing out on the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I look at it in terms of a personal preference and a subjective personal preference. You know what I mean? So it's going to be different for everybody. Maybe you like Netflix because Netflix has the shows you like. Or maybe I don't like Netflix because I don't like those TV shows. So I like the TV shows on the Amazon Prime. So that's subjective. So we're talking about a totally different thing here. So I don't want to waste time on about that. I don't think that's a good counter. I don't think that's a good way to bring your argument. We're talking about why. Here's what I want you guys to think about. This is the question. We're not doing like dick measurement, Xbox better than this, PlayStation better than that. We're not doing that here. That's some kind of fanboy thing that you guys can do elsewhere. What I'm asking is this one question. The question I'm asking is a very simple question. What do you think happened I want you to speculate. I want you to give your honest opinion on what do you think it's going on. That's what I'm trying to get at here. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what do you guys think it's going on. So I want you guys to stick to just that perspective. What do you think it's going on? What do you think it has happened? Does it have something to do with Todd Howard and Bethesda and Xenix? Or does it has to do something with Xbox hasn't made the profit that they needed to make? And they have to cut some corners, and they have to fire some of the developer teams and studios in order to save the money they need to save? Or is it something else? What is the reason for that? Speaking of High Rush, well, there's a High Rush right there. Sadly, High Rush, it's not part of the Xbox anymore. He launches the console without one game. Again, you're going off the subject, man. You're going back to the whole fanboy dick measurement, man. Okay, if we're going to do this, if we're going to play this game, guys, we can play this game. So what did, in 2020, PlayStation 5 bring in terms of exclusive game? What did they bring? They only brought that one game from House Marquee Studio. And that game was Returnal. And Returnal really wasn't all that. We had to wait, 3 years till we got Gran Turismo 7. We had to wait 3 years till we got Gran Turismo 7. Now, God of War and Spider-Man, as I said before, it's not a new IP, it's an old IP. It's just a sequel. So, but, so we're not talking about that, guys. We're talking about what happened. That's the question. I want you guys to tell me. I don't want you to tell me, okay, this is why PlayStation's better than Xbox and Xbox this, and we're not doing that. I want you to tell me exactly, why do you think this is happening in the Xbox? Why this is now all of a sudden happening, and they're cutting the ties with some of these studios that they have invest money. Clearly, they paid a bunch of money to Bethesda, Xenix Bethesda, to have this partnership. So I want you to know what happened. Is there something going on between Phil Spencer, Todd Howard? Is there something going on inside Todd Howard, Bethesda, Xenix company? Or is there something else going on? So I just want you guys to stick to that subject. Well, neither did PlayStation when they launched the 2020. So, not sure what your point is, Andrew Goods. I mean, if you're going to go with the facts, we can fact check all of this if that's what you want to do. All right, Cameron says, what about the idea that Xbox now focuses on making their new AAA games run better on PlayStation 5 Pro and save money, not having to develop a new console? Well, we don't know. See, that's the thing. That's why we're having this conversation, Cameron. We don't know. Because Phil Spencer, it's not making any statements. He's not giving us anything. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Why this is happening. What is the reason for this? That's what I'm trying to get at. Welcome back, Steven. What do you think, Steven? What do you think the reason is that all of this is happening right now with the Xbox? I'm just trying to get to the speculation part. That's a pretty weak lineup, dude. Astrobots, I wouldn't even put him in there as a big deal. It's a nice, cute little game that you can go test your PlayStation. Demon Souls, it's a very limited audience. Come on, man. You gotta have a heavy hitters to if you're gonna release a console, you have to release it with a super heavy hitter. Something big. You know what I mean? It has to be something like a God of War or The Last of Us. It has to be something heavy hitter. You know what I mean? To stand out. And neither PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X, probably the weakest so-called next generation to ever launch consoles. If you look at PlayStation 4, if you look at PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and if you look at the original Xbox, if you look at the PlayStation 2 and the lineup of games they had in the past on the launch, if you look at Dreamcast and the type of games Dreamcast, Sega had on the launch, dude, that is what people want to see. Even Nintendo 64 when it was released and the lineup of games they had. That's the strong lineup of launch games. But I haven't seen that in 2020. And I know they're going to use pandemic as an excuse. Fine. It seems like a lot of these companies have been using pandemic as an excuse. Hey, we couldn't get the developers, blah, blah, blah. And that's fine. I'll guess I'll buy into that. I'll buy into that excuse. But what I'm talking about is both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X didn't really have that great of a 3-year. I mean, if you really look at it honestly. Yes, there's some cool games, some cool sequels that came out. Spider-Man 2 did okay. It wasn't anything groundbreaking. God of War Ragnarok was pretty good. But that was to be expected. There was the Last of Us remaster, which was good. But still, it's still a remaster. It's not like we're getting a brand new Last of Us game. There was Returnal, but Returnal, nobody really cared. I mean, I didn't care for it. So it was a weak, very weak lineup, in my opinion. Now, Ghost of Tsushima, that's PlayStation 4, guys. Let's be honest here. Ghost of Tsushima is PlayStation 4. And then it got integrated to enhanced version of PlayStation 5. All I'm saying is, I don't want to talk about, what happened in 2020. I know what happened in 2020. I know what was released, and I know which games are out. I was there. I played them. I'm talking about, I want you guys to give me your opinion on subject at hand. Why this is happening? That's the question. What caused this decision? What caused Xbox to turn around 360 and start making these decisions on canceling these studios? And there's more of them on the way. It's not just those 4 that we talked about. There's some more studios they're going to be shutting down and canceling. Let me see what Cameron has to say. Let me see. I believe that Microsoft Corporation has realized that the Xbox side of the business is hemorrhaging too much money versus what the 4 years of Game Pass has brought back. It's always about not enough money. Interesting point. I can see that. They have spent more money on buying out the studios in hope that they will deliver on some sort of exclusive games, which they never did. So I can see that point, that they have wasted, and they did waste it, close to $100 billion in these acquisitions and buying out these studios, and then dealing with the lawsuits, going to Europe to deal with the lawsuits up in United Kingdom with that Activision legality lawsuit. That cost them a lot of money too. They lost a lot of money there as well. I'm not sure what the Game Pass subscription is, how much they made during the year, what their annual profit is. I have to look into that, so I can't speak from top of my head because I don't know. I don't have a sheet where I can tell you what their annual profit is. That could be that's a good point. That could be one of the reasons, Cammy, that they have wasted so much money and resources on buying out these studios, and they haven't gotten the results that they wanted. Well, what did they think was going to happen? I mean, honestly, if you think about it, $100 billion altogether. That's a lot of money, dude. And you spend that kind of money and you don't get the profit that you were expecting. That's a huge gamble, I would say, on their part. They gambled too much, too risky. And the end result, as we can see right now, it didn't work. Clearly, it didn't work. So that's a good point. That could be one of the reasons. Maybe Bill Gates came in and Bill Gates says, all right, guys, what's going on here? We just wasted $100 billion and where's the results? That's a lot of money. Where's the results? We're not seeing any results, man. We just wasted all this money. We're not getting any results. But if that's the case, so then why is Phil Spencer still the boss? See, that's my question. If that is the case, and let's say Bill Gates, I know he's not the CEO, but he still has a lot to say because he's the grandfather of the company. He can have a board's meeting and he can make some decisions, clearly. Just like Jeffrey Bezos with the Amazon can make major decisions. Who's the CEO, who's not the CEO. So why is Phil Spencer still head of the Xbox? And why is Matt Booty still the president if that's the case? That's what I'm thinking now. Well, I understand what you mean, Andrew, but it's irrelevant, honestly, because both systems didn't really have that much of a hot lineup in past 3 years. Let's be honest. I mean, I'm talking about why Xbox has invested all this money. And why Xbox has failed to deliver of any kind of a profit benefit. So what's going on? That's my question here. What's going on inside the Xbox? that it's causing this turmoil, if you want to call it. Well, call it turmoil, right? Someone had to screw up somewhere. Someone had to make some terrible decisions, and well, I hate to bring up the Phil Spencer, but he is the head of Xbox. Like, I've been thinking about the Arcane studio, right? And when the Redfall came out last year, there was a podcast, and on that podcast, Phil Spencer was asked some pretty hard questions regarding the Arcane studio and the Redfall failure, and he says, well, it's my responsibility, Phil Spencer said, it's my responsibility. I maybe should have oversee the whole production of the Redfall, but I felt I should give the artist a freedom to create what they want to create, not what I want them to create. So he says, I wanted to give them the freedom to create what they want to create. Fine. Okay, I can see that point, but at the same time, don't you think, like, as a head of the Xbox, you should be obligated to oversee the production of the game that they're making, to see whether or not this is worth the investment? If I'm giving you the money to build a house, I'm going to be there next to the contractor, and I'm going to talk to the contractor. I'm going to tell the contractor, I want this to be done this way. I want it to be, this many, rooms, this many balconies. I want this garage to be built this way. I want the backyard to be built that way. I want the landscaping to be done that way. I would be the one telling them what type of color do I want the wall to be painted, what type of protective, hurricane impact windows, glasses would I like to have to put on the house, what type of roof would I like to build. I would be the one overseeing that project because I'm putting money into it. So I feel like this really comes down to the lack of transparency. And I guess you could point fingers at Phil Spencer because he's the head of Xbox. And lack of transparency is, I really think, what it's causing this. Because he was making all these promises and all these excuses and clearly didn't work out. Clearly didn't pan out. Because here we are. We're right now talking about it. Cameron said there's a petition all over the world to fire Phil Spencer. Dreamcast guy made a video on it today. So, well, I can see why people feel that way. I know. We'll see, but that's the question. I'm aware of all of these news and bits, Cameron. But the question is why? See, that's what I'm trying to get at. I know what's going on. I mean, I see the news, I read the news. I know what's happening. But my question is why? Why? Same thing with a Hellblade, right? Hellblade 2 was something that they promoted the Xbox Series X when it first was announced. They were saying, what it's capable, what it can do with 12 teraflops and all this other stuff with the RDNA engine and Fidelity FX, all of the stuff that the AMD can bring in terms of GPU, and CPU technology that the AMD has. He even at one point mentioned Lisa Su and just how much he likes working with AMD and being partnered with AMD and Lisa Su, right? And they were talking about the Hellblade 2. promoting Hellblade 2 and Halo, right? It was Hellblade 2 and Halo, but Hellblade 2 was really a creme de la creme. And you're right. Where's the marketing? Where's the marketing for Hellblade 2? Zero marketing. I mean, you can't even find it. Just one trailer for Hellblade 2. Pedro's back. Pedro, what do you think? What's going on with the Xbox? And please don't get high. I need you to think clearly, Cheech. Andrew Gutt says, honestly, kind of think Phil Spencer may not have a final say anymore. I seen a rumor told Arcane to fix Refill within 1 year from when it launched, and they failed to do so. I mean, look, Phil Spencer is in a really tough spot right now, man. He dig himself a hole deep enough. I don't know how is he going to get out of that hole, to be honest with you. And I don't even know him making any statements. Is it going to really hold any water in the glass? I mean, because when you don't have any credibility, there's really not much you could really say, because anything you say will be looked at as a damage control. You know what I mean? But the reason I'm talking about this is because I don't want to see companies fail. You see, I'm not in the business of like jumping on a bandwagon and, ooh, I want to see Xbox fail, or I want to see this company fail. I don't understand that mindset. I also didn't want to see Stadia fail. I'm just trying to understand who is behind this. What's going on? And the fact that they're not making any statements, the fact that Matt Booty, and he's the president of Xbox, is not making any statements, which is pretty ridiculous. Phil Spencer, where's Phil Spencer? I don't know. So how are they going to release the Xbox Infinite? What's the name of that console, Pedro, you were saying? Let me see some. Oh, dude, he's nowhere to be seen. Oh my God. Holy shit. Did Phil Spencer remove me as a friend? Oh no, he didn't. I was worried for a minute. Maybe he removed me as a friend. Last seen 45 minutes ago. Hold on. No. He was on I think Phil Spencer is watching my live stream right now. Phil, listen, man, you should join. I would love to get. I know this live stream would go viral, dude. This would be like millions of views if Phil Spencer would agree to come on and to just just tell me honestly what's going on, man. Just lay out the cards, transparency. It's almost like going to the church and, going to that confession booth. Go to the confession booth and tell the Holy Father, the minister, what has happened. Tell the priest what happened. I'm going to be your priest. Phil Spencer, you can tell me. Microsoft, here was Cameron says, Microsoft will realize its financial bitter, Is it, you mean bitter or better? Financially, Microsoft will realize it's financially better at this point to sell our games on Sony, since that is where the majority of gamers are playing. Well, they will definitely profit more money. I mean, that's a good point. They will definitely profit more money by putting their games, or some of their games, on the PlayStation. But that also wouldn't make any sense for them to do that as well, because then people are going to say, why should I subscribe to your Game Pass service if I can just go to PlayStation and play all of your exclusive Xbox games on the PlayStation? So that's something I don't understand. See, that's also something that doesn't make any sense. To me, that also doesn't make any sense. Like, why? So then what's the point of the Game Pass? Then the Game Pass will cease to exist. Right? The Game Pass will cease to exist, because why bother going to the Game Pass, paying $20 a month, if you can just go to PlayStation Plus and have everything there? Then no one's gonna bother with the with the Game Pass subscription. If you can just get a PlayStation Plus and have everything there, that would suit me perfectly, bro. That would work for me just perfectly. If I can play all of these games there on the Xbox, if I can play it on the PlayStation, that would work perfectly for me. That would save me even more money, not having to have two subscriptions, just one subscription. Imagine if I could play Hellblade 2 on the PlayStation 5. Well, I wouldn't even need Game Pass. So I don't understand. See, this is what troubles me. This is what I'm starting to sound like a RoboCop. It troubles me. It bugs me. It troubles me. Like, I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Like such a... I just don't see... It's almost like they're like some kind of bipolar company, dude. Making these bipolar, schizophrenic decisions. Like, dude, don't you realize if you put these games on the PlayStation, that's going to hurt the Game Pass? Don't you realize if you don't have any exclusive, that's going to hurt you in the long run as a selling console, to have a reason to buy the console? Don't you realize if I can play everything on the PC, then I don't need to buy the next big Xbox console? Right? So why make these decisions? You know, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense. You know, because if you want to compete, and let's be honest, what is the whole point of capitalism? Right? The whole point of capitalism is what? Money. Money. This country is built on money. It runs on money. It's all about money. Money, 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 money. All right, so capitalism, good for money. And what else does the capitalism need? It needs competition. Competition. You got to have a competition, correct? Without a competition, well then, who are you competing against, right? Competition's good too, because competition thrives for better products. And the better products make you more money. So this is why I would like to talk to him. I would love to sit down here on a party chat and interview Phil Spencer, dude. I would love to sit down and just talk to him and ask him, like, why was these decisions made? And what made you think that these decisions will benefit the brand? Or didn't you realize that these decisions will hurt the brand? I think it's hurting the brand. I don't think it's helping, because if it was helping, well, we wouldn't be having this podcast. We wouldn't be talking about it. We would be getting excited about the Hellblade 2, and we'll be talking about other exclusive Xbox games, and we would be, enjoying the Xbox accolades. But that's not the case. So clearly, those decisions and we have to use Phil Spencer as the scapegoat, because he's the head of Xbox, and we assume it comes from him. Those decisions that were made clearly have not helped the brand, have hurt the brand. And now it's hurting it even more. Shutting down all of these studios, especially the Japanese developer studios that created the Ghostwire, that created Hi-Fi Rush, that created Evil Within 2. And maybe I can find a video where Phil Spencer talked about like Japan and how he wants to make a partnership with Japanese developers. And yet here you are, cutting ties with one and only Japanese developer. Studio, I'm sorry. Here we go. Now check this out.
Konnichiwa, minasan. Exubaksu no Phil desu. It's great to be connecting with you today from Seattle. While we're not able to meet in person, I look forward to visiting you all in Tokyo again. Japan is a creative superpower in this industry, with iconic characters and games that are highlights in the gaming histories of hundreds of millions of players across the globe. Yakuza, Metal Gear, Biohazard, Persona, Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy, and even more recently, the phenomenon of Animal Crossing. Japan and its creators have shaped so much of the magic we expect when it's time to play a game. A culture and community that has had a profound influence on gaming across the world.
I just noticed something. And of course, I don't know Phil Spencer personally, but I just noticed something. Every time he's giving those speeches, he's reading a teleprompter. And it just sounds like he just can't wait to finish reading the teleprompter. So, like, are you being sincere, or are you just reading that teleprompter because you have to? He talks about the importance of the Japanese games, the importance of the Japanese developers. Well, Hi-Fi Rush, Evil Within 2, Ghostwire, wasn't that important? Apparently it wasn't that important, Phil Spencer. So, see, this goes back to what I was saying, guys. And I think when you rewatch this live stream, you're going to come to the same conclusion. This is a lack of transparency. This is why we're in this problem with the Xbox, is the lack of transparency. This is when you start making promises you can deliver. This is when you start not being sincere. I would never make you a promise I can deliver. I'm never going to tell you, hey, I'm going to do this tomorrow. We're going to have a live stream tomorrow to do this, this, and that, if I can do it. Because then that would make me look like someone you can't trust, someone that's going to lose the credibility, right? So I look at him the same way, which is like, you are the head of Xbox, man. You need to be transparent with your community, of Xbox community. You need to tell your Xbox community sincerely what's going on. Why are we making this console? Why are we having Series S and Series X? What's the point of bringing these games to the PlayStation? Why are we bringing these games on MetaQuest? Why are we bringing these games to the PC? What's the point of a Xbox console? If I can go ahead on the PC, on my gaming laptop, and enjoy the accolades. of the Xbox brand. What's the point of that? And I know people are going to say, play wherever you want to play anywhere. Okay, if that's the case, play anywhere, play wherever you want to play. But then guess what? Then you don't need the Xbox brand anymore. Just call it Microsoft Windows Gaming. Because the purpose of the Xbox is gone. The whole point of the Xbox was the console exclusivity. When it was released in November 15th of 2001, that was the whole point. The exclusivity that came on that console was the key importance that made it stand out. Halo Combat Evolved made it stand out. All these other games that came out, Project Gotham Racing, Steel Battalion, right? Even the implementation of the Xbox Live made it stand out. People were like, whoa, in 2003, now we can have an Xbox Live and play against other people around the world. Or play with somebody who lives in Canada or in Mexico or in Europe or in UK. I can play Match Warrior 2, right? Was it the Mac Warrior 2, whatever. There was a reason. Same thing with the Xbox 360, Gears of War, and other games that came out. Steel Battalion 2 that came out. I know there was a Steel Battalion 1 and then Steel Battalion 2 came out on the Xbox 360. That was a Capcom, Steel Battalion 2. There was a lot of exclusivity. There was a lot of features that the Xbox 360 had on top of the live service that was really unique. But something happened in 2013. I think this whole thing started in 2013. Trust me, this whole thing went going downhill 2013. PlayStation 4, when it was announced, when it was released in 2013, they said, hey, you don't have to be, you can share your game, you can keep your game, you can give it to your whoever. You know, we're family share, user-friendly here. You can trade in your game. You don't have to be DRM free, right? DRM free. When you purchase our game, you can trade it in. You can do whatever. You can give it to your friend. You can give it to your family. They can play it. You can trade it. PlayStation 4 with Jack Trent. It almost put the Xbox out of business in 2013. It almost put the Xbox out of business. That's because the Xbox One was only focused on Kinect, using your hands and voice, and it was only focused on the television. Who cared about the DVR and television? You know, what are you creating a console? Are you creating a console for a cable company, or are you creating a console for exclusivity? I think this downfall really started in 2013. And then Phil Spencer became the president and then the head of Xbox later on. He removed the Kinect. And then he had this revision of the Xbox with the Xbox One S, which was nice. I would say Xbox One S was a nice, fresh perspective with 4K and HDR prior to PlayStation 4 Pro in November. I think PlayStation 4 Pro came out November 10th on 2016. And then we had Xbox One S with a 4K Blu-ray player and 4K HDR capabilities with Gears of War 4 and some other games on the Xbox One S when it came out. I think it came out in August of 2016. So that was a nice change. And it was okay for a little while. And then everybody started praising Phil Spencer. Ooh, Xbox One S. Even I started praising him. I was like, whoa, this is awesome. And then in 2017, he makes the announcement for Scorpio. And he said the Scorpio is going to be the most powerful console. Xbox One X will be the most powerful, and we're going to see a lot of great stuff happening on it. And how long did the Scorpio last? For a year and a half. In 2019, they announced they're going to stop the production of the Xbox One X. You won't be able to buy the Xbox One X anymore. They'll stop the production because they're focusing on the release of their next generation Xbox Series X. So, and it all kind of started going downhill from there. After the Xbox One X Project Scorpio, when they announced that's it, they won't be focusing on the production of the Project Scorpio. You can still buy it. I mean, you can still use it, but you're not going to be able to buy it, basically. You're not going to be able to buy it. There won't be any warranty for it. So you're taking a huge risk if you do purchase an Xbox One X Project Scorpio. So what I'm trying to say is, every time Phil Spencer makes an announcement, he doesn't stay true to that investment. And you look at the Xbox One X Project Scorpio, did he really trace true to that investment? Hey, I'll play the video. You guys can go look at the video. Here we go. I'll play it for you right now. Here.
Been a little bit of information kind of swirling around about the capabilities of the different boxes.
Yeah, we
and
should
stuff
talk
like
about that and
Yeah.
try to clarify some stuff.
So I just it seems like the I guess it was Rod Ferguson confirmed to Polygon that the Xbox One S would actually be slightly more powerful than a base level Xbox One.
Yeah, let me
Is
talk
that
about
by design?
Well, so what happens when, even on the original Xbox One that we shipped, over the life of it, we will upgrade different components in the box,
Right.
Because it's like availability or the manufacturers of the drives or something that will give us a new model and we'll put it
A little
in
cheaper to build or a little
something
bit
like
better,
that.
easier
So like
to
bandwidth
source.
on things on any of the generations of our console can go up and down a little bit. I'll say Xbox One S was designed. Let me put HDR kind of over here.
Yeah.
But Xbox One S was designed to run your Xbox One games the same way your original Xbox does.
Yeah.
I think what Rod was talking about specifically.
So then what was the point? Did you just hear that? So then what was the point of creating the Xbox One S if it's designed to run the games you're playing on your original Xbox One? Why? Because it can upscale? It has a little bit of HDR? But the performance still the same? The graphics are still the same? So then what is the point of even having a console like that? See, this is where I think, this is where the whole thing started in 2016. This confusion that Phil Spencer has created, where even I was confused as to like, well, why? Why not just create something brand new and be super powerful and take the advantage of the games that you want to put out there? But anyway, here, let's continue.
Specific to Gears, there's some things that happen that actually make his Gears run, the Gears build like right now, run a little better on Xbox One S than on Xbox One. I don't even, like, we're not done with the game when
Right,
it lands.
yeah.
The thing I want to make clear to people is they shouldn't buy an Xbox One S thinking it's going to run Xbox One games faster.
Right.
Okay. So, okay, so then why make it? Did you just listen to this? Did you just hear this? I hope you guys don't have swabs in your ears. So my question is this, Phil. And this is 7 years ago. Well, so then what? Why even make it? Then just stay with the Xbox One. Why create something if you're not going to benefit? What are we doing? Are we being a con artists? Are we selling a snake oil? So what are you, like, this is why people are so confused with Phil Spencer. He's all over the place. Like, he can never give you a straight answer. It's like, why, dude? Why not just wait for the Xbox Project Scorpio and make a true 4K machine? Why bother with the One S? Right? Why bother with the One S? The same question I ask about the Series S. Why would I want to buy a system that's going to run a 1080p upscale to 4K? 1080p source upscale to 4K. Maybe some instances 1440p upscale to 4K and HDR with some ray tracing here and there. He has made so much. I think someone's going to do a documentary about Phil Spencer and his past and all of these decisions that he has made. It just doesn't add up, man. It doesn't make any sense. He has confused everything with the Xbox, with all these S and X's, and even right now people are confused. People tell me, which Xbox should I buy? I said, Series X? Yeah, but there's another one called the S, and there's a 1X, and there's a S, and there's the original 1. But anyway, let's continue.
Because we didn't design it to do that. It is an Xbox One S. There are marginal differences in all the hardware, but it's an Xbox One. And it's Xbox One. That's how it runs the games. Now we have HDR, so it will support high dynamic range for 1K games. If I want to call them Xbox One games.
Right.
And you'll get that in Gears. You'll get that in Scalebound. You'll get that in Forza Horizon. So it actually does run the games from that perspective a little better. If you don't have an HDR TV, you obviously won't see that.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, and Scalebound, you canceled it. Phil Spencer. You canceled Scalebound. It's not running on anything because you canceled it. Did we forget it? No, I didn't. I just reminded my thanks to you, Phil Spencer, in this old interview from the Gaming Dog. Scalebound got canceled. Thank you for reminding me. Of how many projects did you cancel, dude? Anyway.
But I don't want anybody thinking the Xbox One S is some kind of performance improvement over the Xbox One, because it really wasn't designed to do that.
Okay, but Project Scorpio that's when we get into teraflops. That's when we get into going over the top and saying, let's put out the most powerful console on the block.
Yeah. As I've shared in different places, we've been doing more work on PC, and we recently shipped Forza Motorsport Apex.
Right.
6 Apex on PC running at 4K. And we've been looking at what it takes to run these games at 4K on PC, and we wanted to bring that capability to console. And as we were looking at the device capability you need, it was really 6 teraflops that we had to go hit in order to hit real high resolution, high fidelity VR, or high fidelity 4K experiences. I'll get to VR in a second.
Yeah.
And so that we designed a spec around 6 teraflops. We looked at what we could get done this year, whether we could actually hit that spec with a hardware refresh this year. We couldn't.
So basically what he's saying is, why don't you buy our consoles every other year? Why don't you... why? Okay, Phil Spencer. Why? Why should I upgrade your consoles every other year or every 2 years? I'll just build the PC, bro. I'll just put a 4070, 4080, 3090. I'll just build the PC and just be done with it and have a PC and play all your games on PC. On top of the Steam library out there. On top of all the other emulator games that I can play. On top of all the other VR stuff. Then just, okay, so my point here is this to Phil Spencer. Like, I still don't see the purpose of all your consoles. If all of this I can do on PC, why bother? Me and Cameron talked about this. Like, why bother with the Xbox? If everything you're telling me right now, I can do and do it better on a PC, why would I even bother? And especially if your game's going to be coming on a PlayStation, which they are, well, I won't have any reason at all now to be at the Xbox if that's the way it's going to be. I'm, the reason I'm showing you these videos, and I don't want you guys to be confused. The reason I'm showing you all of this, because I want you to see just how none of this made any sense. None of this made any sense. I bought a Project Scorpio and I was super excited. Woohoo! The most powerful console on the planet. November 7th, 2017. Mark your calendars. The most powerful console on the planet. That lasted only a year and a half. 2019. Oh, we're stopping the production of Xbox One X. Sorry. And then it was April 2019. There was a breaking news. The production of the Xbox One X has been put on hold because they're focusing on their next generation Xbox Series X and Series S. And now we're focusing on yet another console, which is going to be another upgrade. And then you ask yourself, oh, what's the point of this upgrade? What are we doing? And here's another one from the CNBC, man. So let's go down a memory lane. Let's go down a memory. Like if we're gonna go into this, if we're going to investigate, then let's investigate. Let's hear it from the man himself. This is from the CNBC 6 years ago during the Project Scorpio.
The gaming industry is growing across every every age demographic. Microsoft has some unique strengths that really play to where we see gaming going. You see the digital transformation happening in so many industries. It's happening in gaming. We obviously have Xbox, we have Azure, we have Microsoft Research, we have products like Xbox Live and Minecraft. So it was really just a time to go after a market that's growing like crazy, and Microsoft has the right to be there.
Where does the One X fit into the business strategy? Because it used to be you had these console cycles, they were maybe 4 or 5 years long. You came out with a thing, you subsidized it, and eventually you made the money back. But you're coming out with different versions of the consoles now, where it seems like every year or two there's a different version in the current cycle. Why is that, and why is that good for business?
Well, the business model.
Thank you. You see, this guy from CNBC asked him a straight up question. CNBC, which is the stock market, business. It's an NBC channel, and he asked him a straight up question: how do you think this is good for business? How is it good for business? But let's see what his answer is, or how is it good for the brand? No, what he should have asked him: how is it good for the brand? Well, I guess that's what he meant. How is it good for the business? How is it good for the brand?
Model hasn't really changed. It's still a sockets and then building engagement and monetization on those sockets. Consoles, critically important. Our Xbox One X comes out tonight, 4K, most powerful gaming console ever made. But you also...
But that right there, it's a snake oil. It's a snake oil salesman. The most powerful console ever made. That means forget the pyramids, forget the Giza Plateau pyramids, forget the Great Wall of China, forget everything. This is it. This is the greatest of all time. I mean, if that's not I never really kind of analyzed Phil Spencer properly, because I was a bit of a fanboy, I guess you could say. But now that I look back, now that I'm starting to analyze all of this stuff, now I realize, man, he's really like a car dealership guy. When you go to a car dealership and there's already a guy waiting, walking. Hey, looking good there, fella. Come on in. I like your aviators. Come on in. We're going to take care of you today. Come on in. You're going to be driving out with the nice wheels. What are you driving there? Mazda? Pfft. Man, we're going to get you with a nice set of wheels. Come on in, man. We're going to get you the best wheels the money can buy. But don't worry, we got a great financial plans. We got no interest rates for another 24 years, man. Don't worry, man. Come on in. Come on in. Let me show you our staff, these beautiful cheerleaders of ours. Don't they look pretty, huh? Right? It's like he's like one of those guys, right? Like it's kind of like that, where he's like luring you in, like manipulating you to believe in, oh, this is going to be the next big thing. And naturally, of course, a lot of people bought into it. I bought into it. I bought the Xbox One X. I even made a video where I was vouching for the Xbox One X. People were still upset about the price. The price was $500, and people were like losing their minds. And I was defending the price point, $500, because it had a 4K Blu-ray player built into it. It had some, great capabilities and whatnot. So I was into 4K, everything 4K back then, and I was all excited about the 4K HDR gaming, right? So I was defending the Xbox One X, but I looked at it differently now. See, that's the point I'm trying to make here, guys. Now that I'm listening to his old interviews, that I'm listening to the things that he said, I see it in a different perspective now.
You have people playing on phone, you have people playing on PC. So our focus is really how do we reach gamers wherever they are with the right content and the right service. And it's been a great journey over the last, my role, 3.5 years in this role, and seeing just where gaming's going.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? What he just said. Here, let me translate. He says, our role is to help our gamers play our games anywhere. Whatever they want to play it on their phones, on their PCs, on their whatever. And he's saying that while he's promoting Xbox One X to sell you the Xbox One X. And my question is, dude, so then what is the point of the Xbox One X? If you're telling everybody, all right, dude, you don't need the Xbox One X, you just get yourself a powerful PC. And you got something better than the Xbox One X. Go play on a cloud. Where we have Xbox One X's on the cloud, and you can play our Xbox One X's games from the cloud. On your phone, on your tablets, on your laptops, on your whatever. So then what's the point of you trying to sell the Xbox One X? So same question goes for the Series X. If it's true, if Hellblade 2 can only run 4K 30 in some kind of dynamic, whatever, 1600p resolution, which is still good, but at 30 FPS. So then what was the point of 12 teraflops? Didn't you create, like Cameron was just recently mentioning, wasn't that the whole point of you creating the Xbox Series X? To have Hellblade 2 run the best. Let's put it this way. To tailor-made Hellblade 2 to run on the Xbox Series X. And that's the reason why Cameron bought the Xbox Series X, because of Hellblade 2. Because he was under influence, just like I was under influence, that the Hellblade 2 was tailor-made for the Xbox Series X, to run the best on the Xbox Series X. But from what I have been hearing, from the rumors I've been hearing out there, and these are just the rumors, that the Hellblade 2, it's only going to run at 4K 30. That's disappointing. Then people are going to say, well then, Phil Spencer, why did you make me buy the Xbox Series X? If I can just go ahead and get my 3090 Ti and then run Hellblade 2 at the 60 FPS on a deep learning super sampling on my 3090 Ti, on my computer, on my PC. So, see, this is what I mean. The whole point of this is lack of transparency. There's never been a transparency with this guy. It's always been about, let me lure you in, let me give you all these lullaby promises, what we're doing with this, what we're doing with that. Just trust us, trust us, trust us. We need you to trust us. We need the gamers to trust us, to have trust in us. And what did we get? Here we are right now. We are right here. And look, I don't mean to be like super critical about Phil Spencer. I'm pretty sure if me and him were sitting at a bar and we're having a drink, I'm pretty sure me and him would have a fun conversation. We would probably get along 100%. But I don't think he managed this Xbox company that well, to be honest. Now when I look at it, like he made it too confusing. It's almost like some kind of bipolar schizophrenic thing. I want to do this. I don't want to do that. I want to do this, but let's also do this. Let's do this. Let's do that. Almost irresponsible. The decisions that he made were almost irresponsible. Let's buy these studios. Let's do this. Let's team up with Samsung. Let's team up with the MetaQuest and put that stuff there. Let's team up with Sony. Let's put our games on Sony. Let's do this. Let's do that. Very irresponsible decisions. And now those decisions are backfiring at him. Because clearly they didn't work out. Because he thought, hey, if I throw some money here, if I throw some money there, if I do this or if I do that, that will maybe work. He forgot the most essential importance of running a console business. And that most essential importance is what? And I'm 45 years old. I'm old enough to know the importance of the consoles. What made the consoles a console? Exclusives. When you look at Sega Genesis, Nintendo Entertainment System, PlayStation Original 1, Sega Dreamcast, when you look at all of these consoles in the past, what made it success is the exclusivity. My God, why is it so difficult for these CEOs to understand that? What makes a console stand out is exclusivity, meaning you can only play it there. For example, you see this? I can only play this on the PlayStation 5 at the moment. Can't play it on the Xbox, can't play it on the PC, can't play it on Nintendo, can't play it on a Higgy Jiggy. I can only play it on PlayStation 5. That's a big deal. That's going to bring profit. You know how many consoles this game has sold? Millions across Japan, Southeast Asia, Europe, North America. Millions and millions and millions of copies and hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And that also sells console because you need a console, PlayStation 5, to play this. That's correct. So the exclusives do matter. When people say that the exclusives don't matter, then they truly don't understand the origin of consoles and why the consoles are called consoles and why they're so special. This is what made them special. Exclusives is what made them special. Just like once upon a time, Halo Combat Evolved and Gears made Xbox special. So I guess what I'm trying to say, all of this falls down onto Phil Spencer. And people can say, well, how could you say that? Because he is in charge. He is the boss. He is head of Xbox. He makes the final decision. At the end of the day, who else can we, point fingers at? He's the guy. He's the man. He's the boss. Right? Bill Gates is not head of Xbox. Yes, he's the grandfather of Microsoft, but, he's not in charge of decision making on the Xbox. Phil Spencer is. Now, behind closed doors, does he have a meeting with Bill Gates? I don't know. Maybe he does. How am I supposed to know? They do live in Seattle, and Bill Gates lives in Seattle, so maybe he invites him. I don't know. Okay, I'm not his private chauffeur. I don't know what Bill Gates is doing, who he meets with, and this and that. But point being is, at the end of the day, I understand why people are upset with Phil. Dude, I've seen hardcore Xbox fanboys raging, being upset. When you, Phil Spencer, it is so bad, Phil, that even your biggest fans are now having doubts about you They're turning against you. That's how bad this is, man. And who else they gonna blame? Who? You're the one in charge, Phil. You're the one that should make a statement. You're the one that should be right now on this podcast with me in a party chat answering some questions. And I swear to God, I would be respectful. People who know me, yes, I do joke around sometimes. Yes, I do voices of John Wick and others, right? But at the same, and I do eat banana and ice cream, and I can be funny. But I also am very respectful. I come from a respectful family. I'm a very respectful person. But I would ask you some hard questions. Some very uncomfortable, hard questions I would ask you, Phil Spencer. Because people want to know. You know. So, at the end of the day, I don't know where this is going to go. I mean, look, Xbox will exist in some whatever shape and form that is. Whatever it is, whoever comes after Phil Spencer, whoever's the CEO, I don't know, whoever they choose. I have a feeling that the Phil Spencer will step down. I think he'll probably make a decision where he's going to step down, where he's going to say, all right, there's too much pressure, I'm out. But then after that, right, we'll see what happens after that. When somebody else comes along and what they going to do, what changes are they going to make, and what type of changes are they going to make, and are they going to learn any lessons from the previous mistakes? So I don't know, man. I mean, that's why I brought you guys here to hear what you have to say. I know you guys, there's 24 of you sitting on the sidelines, but feel free to speak out your mind. Feel free. That's the subject. The subject is not, PlayStation has a bigger dick than the Xbox. We're not talking about the dick measurement. We're talking about, I need you guys to focus at this subject. What happened? What went wrong? And who's responsible? I guess we can all guess who's responsible, but the question is, how did this happen? And from my perspective here, as you can see, I'm putting the blame on Phil Spencer, because ever since he got on the scene on the Xbox, ever since he took over, we saw major changes. Changes of building the Xbox One S and then the Xbox One X, Project Scorpio, which fine, give us that option. But they all lived short life. Both of these consoles, like Xbox One S, lived a short life. Yes, I had a good use of it. Project Scorpio lived a short life. And now we have Xbox Series X also living a short life, because there's another console coming out. So we're asking our questions like, well, what's going on here? What's the point of these consoles? What is the initiative of the Xbox? What is the goal of the Xbox? What is the plan here? Like, you gotta have a clear vision, like Arnold says. You gotta know where you're going, dude. You can't just go in your car and start driving. Like, where are we going, dude? North? North where? North Pole? Where are we going? Right? You gotta have some sort of a direction. Like, what are we doing? Where are we going? What is our objective? Direction and objective. What is the direction and what is the objective? Direction and the objective. Right now there is no direction, and right now there is no objective, because I just don't know what's going on with the Xbox. Maybe David Jaffe know. I don't know. Maybe we should talk to David Jaffe. I don't know. Maybe he knows. I don't know. I don't know. But what do you guys think? See, that's what I want to ask you guys. I gave you my perspective. I want to hear your perspective, guys. So, hold on. It's all about the money, man. It's easy to see. Well, yeah, absolutely, Pedro. It's all about the money. Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media Gamer, man. Hey, Mr. 4K, you are right. I like to see more out of my Xbox Series X. I only have 3 games for it. There you go. You know, because if we're not going to take the advantage of this, Series X, then what was the point? I miss when you bought a physical game and have exclusive codes inside and shit like that. Those were the good old days, Pedro. Sorry about my chat. I don't know what happened to my chat. It got frozen. That's why I couldn't see it. I think I've frozen with these aviators. I like Halo and all that. Now you pay and you get nothing other than if you have Ultimate Game Pass. There's that too. So you're forced now to have the Game Pass. Because without the Game Pass, we can play together. We can do nothing. There's, you can use the Xbox Live. I'm pretty much naked on an island alone by myself, and this guy right here. Me and Wilson, It's just me and Wilson. And that's how it feels without the Xbox Game Pass, because you're being forced, So there's that too. That's a good point. It's a good point. Now you pay and you get nothing other than... You're right. I also hate free game and pay to win bullshit. Fuck, man, this is another bullshit level. I agree. You're going on VR, bro. Talk later. All right, Pedro. I'll be there later on. Thank you, Pedro. 2 years and it's time to upgrade. I know. It's ridiculous. Bison 4K. Arthur Morgan, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking, Arthur Morgan. Bison 4K. I love that Arthur Morgan photo, man. Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media Gamer, man. I feel bad for Phil Spencer. I don't hate the guy, but I does think that if he kept Disc Series X as his number one system, will bring money. Well, look, man, I vouched for the guy. I always said great things about the Phil Spencer, and I'm not the only one. A lot of people love Phil Spencer. And, just like a lot of people love Keanu Reeves. Now, if Keanu Reeves does something stupid or shitty, you'll see how quickly the love for Keanu Reeves will go down. People only remember you by what you did last. This is something I learned the hard way. People only remember you by what you did last, not by what you did all these years. Like my job, when I got fired from my job, I spent 20 years working there. They all forgot about how many people I saved from the injuries and things like that, and worked with the fire rescue, law enforcement, did all these things. Helped, always was there in the assistance to help, first responder, this and that, CPR, AED, hold the fort down. I'm certified CPR, AED and all that. But they only remember me by the one mistake that I made. And because of that one mistake, I got fired. So, I learned this lesson hard way too. People only remember you what you did last. Not but what you did in 20 years career, did this, did that, all this other shit. And that's how I feel about Phil Spencer. He did some great things. But remember, Phil Spencer, people will only remember you by what you did last. And this goes for everybody. You could be the greatest actor on the planet. People will remember you only what you did last. Right? So that's the lesson to be learned here. Sometimes you got to know when to quit. If you feel, this is what I'm trying to say. If I feel that I'm not contributing, let's say I'm working for a company and I feel that I'm not giving 100%, that I'm really like sucking at this, and I'm not giving my 100%, I feel I shouldn't be there. I feel I should resign. I feel I should quit because I'm not helping. I'm hurting the business, and I should leave. I should just give my resignation and leave. But I feel that Phil Spencer doesn't see it that way. He feels strongly. It's almost like he believes in what he's doing so much that he's not willing to accept the criticism. That he's like, I know what I'm doing, I believe in what I'm doing, and that's the way I feel it should be. No, Phil. You should listen to what people are saying. You should listen to people's requests. How many times have people told you they want a handheld device for the Xbox? How many times people told you they want the VR headset so they can play Forza, Halo, Microsoft Flight Simulator? How many times people have requested this? And you always kind of just disregarded it. You want to do what you want to do. Well, how did that work out, Phil? You do what you want to do. Sometimes you can't do that. Do what I want to do. You got to remember, you represent millions and millions and millions of gamers across the world. And you have to listen to their feedback. Like Phil Harrison didn't listen to the feedback of, us who supported Stadia. I was among the very first supporters of the Stadia, and I am not the only one. There's many others, right? And what happened with Stadia? Where's Phil Harrison now? Nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be heard from, missing in action, right? And all he had to do was listen to the feedback, man. Feedback, it's very important, dude. You gotta listen to what people are saying. If I'm running a business, I need to listen what people are saying. I need to take in some criticism. Like criticism, your videos are too long. You're repeating yourself too much. All right, let's cut down on that. Let's work on that. Or whatever the case might be. Sometimes you have to do that, man. You have to take the criticism, say, okay, all right, I see. Don't like that. Don't want to see more of that. Don't want to listen about that. You want more of this, more of this, more of this, more of this. We want this, 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 and that. You have to do that, man. Because if you don't do that, and look, this is what happens. Here we are now talking about you, Phil Spencer. I mean, I heard Cameron told me. That's how bad it is, dude. Cameron told me just right now. It was on a Dreamcast guy video. There's a petition to fire Phil Spencer. Actually, let me look this up, though. Deus Ex will play tomorrow, Steve. Unfortunately, we'll play tomorrow. It'll be done tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. But don't worry, we'll play tomorrow. It's going to be action-packed. It's Friday. Part 2 is going to be action-packed. Trust me. Part 2 is going to be... Get your popcorn ready for tomorrow. Perfect for Friday, dude. Perfect for Friday. Action-packed. The best part. Hold on. Let me just look this up really quick. Because Cameron told me about this earlier when I was... when he was here. He told me there was a video on the Dreamcast guy video on the YouTube where there's a petition, bro. There's a petition. Let me see. Hold on. Wow. Let's see. I can't find anything about the petition. The only thing I found is that the Fallout 76 players, they nuked Phil Spencer's I don't know, hideout or something in the game, whatever. In a Seattle, whatever, I don't know. Phil Spencer's Fallout 76 camp. Oh, there's a Fallout 76 camp nuked. It's nuked as calls grow for him to resign. There's also something from The Verge that just came out regarding Phil Spencer. This is all happening real time as we speak. I feel sorry for Phil. I'm sorry, dude, that you're going through this, but let me see. All right, so the chaos that started on Wednesday night when a player tweeted a screenshot of Spencer's camp as seen from the in-game map and noted the enormous red circle around it, an indication that the location had recently been nuked. Guilty Real 1090 Jake tweeted back, including a video clip of him wandering around the crispy remains of Spencer's camp, along with a screenshot of his player character interacting with the Spencers, who was clad in the Powers armor. Spencer goes by the username P3, and it's known to spend quite a bit of time playing the Xbox titles. Oh boy. Here, let me see the photo. Oh my lord. Alright, so I can't find nothing about a petition. I don't see any petition for Phil Spencer. I mean, I'm just looking right now. I even checked the AI, Copilot AI, to just double check. There is a calls of resignation, but there isn't. See, I want to see. I don't want this. I don't want my channel to be about misinformation. Okay. All right, so people who do that stuff for the clicks, go knock yourself out. Enjoy that. Have fun with that. I want to be factual. I want to stick to the facts. And I'm using the artificial intelligence AI bot from the Copilot Microsoft to find out. Here's what the artificial intelligence says. Fallout 76 incident. Recently, a Fallout 76 player decided to nuke Phil Spencer's camp in the game. However, the player clarified that it wasn't personal. They had been planning to catch him for a while, hoping he agreed to a fight. The nuking of Spencer's camp apparently stemmed from the player's personal goal after finishing the game main questline. Dude, that was yesterday. That was yesterday when I was playing my Evil West. I was checking to see where Phil Spencer is, and he was playing a Fallout 76. Another thing that the Copilot AI says, calls for resignation. Calls for resignation. Mr. Spencer, meaning Phil Spencer, has faced criticism due to mass layoffs, changes in the Xbox title exclusivity, and the studio closures. Despite this, the nuking incident seems unrelated to these controversies. The player simply wanted to nuke down Spencer after completing the game's main quest. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but... Alright, number 3, petition and social media. there have been petitions and tweets calling for Spencer's resignation. However, it's essential to remember that these reactions are part of broader conversation about Xbox direction and leadership. Okay, so there has been some petitions and social media and tweets, but I still can't find it, you know. But according to the AI, there has been some petitions, but I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know how big these petitions. I can't find it, you know. Because how do you sign the petition if you can't find it? Correct. So if there is a petition, here's my question: if there is a petition to fire Phil Spencer, where is it? It should sign. It should be available. Correct. It should be available. There should be a link. You should be able to go to petition and search for Phil Spencer. It should be there. I haven't seen where that link is, you know, and how many people did it sign? How many? I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. So I'm just going by what the Copilot AI is saying. The reason I say this, because guys, I want the facts. I don't want, you know, this guy says this or that guy says this, because people have different reasons for why they say what they say. Some people, they want to get clicks, they want to get views, and of course talking about this makes a lot of clicks and views and, you know, monetizations. But I'm not about putting the misinformation out there. If there is a petition, I want to see it. Where is it? That's all I ask. Show me the link. I'm not saying I'm going to sign it personally. I'm not that kind of an asshole. I'm not going to do it. But I would like to see where's the petition. That's all I'm saying. So I'm very careful when it comes to this kind of stuff. I'm like Joe Rogan. You know, hey, Jamie, look that up. Look that up, Jamie. Because I want to be factual, dude. I'm not about misinformation. Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media Gamer Man says, Mr. Forcam wondering, was Phil Spencer seed this stuff or was it by higher-ups of Xbox? That's a good question. Was it the higher-ups? But he's the head of Xbox, right? Matthew Booty is the president of Xbox. So first it's Matt Booty, and then you got the Xbox, head of Xbox. So now there's somebody above Phil Spencer as well, right? The CEO of Microsoft. So here's what I think could have happened. A CEO of Microsoft called in Phil Spencer and Matt Booty to come to a board meeting whenever. Come to the board meeting tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock. All right, be there, right? Don't be late. And whoever's the CEO of Microsoft, I don't know right now on top of my head, was probably sitting there around the table, boards directors meeting of the Microsoft in Microsoft, you know, camp over there in Seattle. Because both Matt Booty and, of course, Phil Spencer, they live in Seattle. And, of course, you know, headquarters of Microsoft, it's in Seattle, where Bill Gates is. So there's a possibility that there might have been a meeting. They might have had, you know, probably Phil Spencer, Matt Booty, maybe Todd Howard on the a Zoom call, right, or Skype call on the big television, and they had a meeting, a conference call, Zoom call, Skype meeting, and they probably had a conversation about, hey, we need to cut down on these studios from Xenix, Bethesda, etc., etc. Those 4 studios has to go, so we can save the money and use that money to work on these other projects that we have in mind, whatever those projects are behind the closed doors, which I'm sure, you know, Phil Spencer cannot talk about that, because if he talks about it, there's an NDA agreement, you know, he can get fired. Not just getting fired, but he can get sued, fired and sued. So, of course, he's not going to risk that. He's not going to, you know, say that to risk that. That's a good possibility. See, we don't know. We don't know what's going on behind the closed doors, but that's the whole point of this podcast is we don't know. clearly we know something's going on. And it's nothing good. Clearly right now it's nothing good. There's a lot of pressure right now on the Xbox and Microsoft, and of course there's a lot of pressure on Phil Spencer. I don't think Phil Spencer is going to be sleeping anytime soon. Sleepless nights for him, for sure. Sleepless nights, man. So the statement, when can he make a statement? That's another thing. Maybe he was told not to make any statements till we tell you to make statements. So we have to look at it from that perspective. See, I see what you're saying, Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media, Gamer Man. Maybe he can't say and make a statement right now at the moment. You know how it is. Companies, you sign the agreement, they tell you, okay, you don't say until we tell you. The corporate CEO tells you, hey, you don't say till we tell you. You will make a statement when we tell you to make a statement. Not until we tell you to make a statement. Stay away from social media. Stay away from Twitter. Stay away from all this other nonsense. Stay away from interviews, podcasts. We will let you know when it's time for you to make a statement. You're going to read a teleprompter and you're going to do a 10-minute video or whatever. 15-minute video, read a teleprompter. Here's the statement. Here's why we did what we did, etc., etc. That's a good possibility. Sure. We don't know. That could play out behind the closed doors. But right now, the fact that we don't have any statements is just making it worse. See, now we're having these conversations. That's why we're here. That's why we have this podcast. That's why we're talking about it. Because now everybody's wondering, like, all right, so what happened? I know David Jaffe. I'll watch David Jaffe later on to see what David Jaffe has to say with the whole Xbox drama. But people are, Look, we have every right to talk about this. I mean, I've been buying Xbox since it came out, since 2001. And I still have it. I have, clearly, you can see I have Game Pass, I have Xbox. So yeah, I feel like I need to know. I feel like all of us have a right to know, why is this happening? What's the future of Xbox? Where are we going? What's going on? We were promised 2024 is going to be a great year for Xbox, right? Didn't we get that promise with Starfield in September, prior to the Starfield release? Like, hey, 2024 is going to be a great year, right, for Xbox. And it turned out to be not so great so far. That's why we need statements, right, Steve? That's why we need statements from Phil Spencer. He needs to make a statement. It's got to be him. When he's going to make a statement, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. So I mean, I feel bad for him. I really do. I feel this. I'm not happy about this. You guys know me. I have everything, man. I have a PlayStation. Just earlier today, I was playing PlayStation. I have a PlayStation, man. I have Xbox, okay? I have Nintendo Switch. I have a PC, man. I'm all about enjoying the best of the best, man. Whoever can bring me the best, bring me the best. I even enjoyed Stadia, all right, man? I'm a gamer, dude. And I don't want to see Xbox fail, dude. Thank you, Steve. I don't understand why some people have this like this. Why you want to see someone fail? Why? What does this say about you if you want to see a brand fail? What does it say about you and your empathy and your sympathy? Right? If you want to see a company fail. I don't ever want to see a company fail. Nor do I want to see developers, studios shut down and lose jobs. I know what it's like to lose a job, dude. I know what it's like to not have anything on your bank account. Right? beg money from this, from that, try to sell stuff to make money. I was selling a bunch of shit to just make ends meet. Begging for this, whatever. Can I loan the money? I'll return it to you when, after I sell some shit. And, I know what it's like, dude, to not have, and to be struggling, not to have money, to be in that position, to have to sell your shit just to survive. And then you got to pay back the loan of the person that loaned you the money. It sucks, dude. It sucks. That's why this whole thing gets sad. There's nothing happy about this. There's nothing happy about, what's going on right now in the Xbox. People are losing their jobs. These developers, I'm sure they have a lot of expenses. They have families, right? And now they're out of the job. That sucks, dude. Right? And now this is going on with the Xbox and Phil Spencer, not giving us any statements. And we don't know what's going on. It's just this is not a good time for Xbox, and but my whole point is this. Vis-a-vis this whole thing that's going on the Xbox, my point is this: like, why people feel that they wanna see, Xbox fail, fire Phil Spencer, let's nuke his camp in Fallout 76. This modern generation, man, it's just, I don't understand you. I really don't understand you. Like this anarchy mindset that you have. Thinking if you destroy something, that something better would come out of it. If you see somebody suffer, that you get pleasure out of it. What if something happens to you? What if you end up in the same boat? What about the karma? Did people forget about the karma? What goes around comes around. I don't understand this generation of like, I want to see them fail. I want to see him fail. That's a very narcissistic, evil point of view to look at something. To say, I want to see this company fail. Or I want to see him fail. I want to see him lose his job. It's evil, it's malicious, and there's nothing to be proud about that. There's nothing to be hip about that. To say, look at me. We're better than that, guys. We're better than this. Clearly, there's something going on, and it will be resolved. Phil Spencer will make a statement whenever he's allowed to make a statement. What the future of the Xbox is going to be. Here's what I'm going to say before we end this live stream. Here's what I want to say. Xbox will always exist. With or without Phil Spencer, there's always going to be an Xbox brand trademark in whatever shape and form in the future. That trademark of Xbox is always going to be there in some shape and form. Same thing goes for PlayStation. In whatever shape and form, that trademark, it's always going to be there. It's not going anywhere. Unless there's the end of the world and it's the Ice Age, okay then. Fine. But it's always going to exist. Doesn't matter who the head of Xbox is. Doesn't matter who the CEO is. Whoever comes after Phil Spencer. Let's say Phil Spencer resigns. Somebody else comes in. Maybe that next person will make it worse. Maybe you'll be paying even more for your Xbox. Maybe you'll be paying twice as more. So, be careful what you wish for. You might get even something worse. Like Jim Ryan left and this new CEO, I don't know much about him. I just know that he's from Japan, Tokyo. But other than that, I don't know much about him. Is he going to be good for Sony? I don't know. because I don't know the guy. I just know he's just some guy from Japan, Tokyo. That's it. And he's in charge of PlayStation. So you get somebody new to replace Phil Spencer. Well, you don't know who this guy is. We'll see. So, look, man, this whole thing, it's unfortunate and sad. It's unfortunate and sad. All we can do right now is just sit and wait. Sit and wait and see what statement Phil Spencer makes. Because eventually, he's going to have to make a statement. He will have to make a statement. When he's going to make that statement, I do not know. I don't have a crystal ball. I do not know when he's going to make that statement. Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media Gamer Man says, I wonder if the employees for Xbox still get paid for their work on all them games, and my love goes to them and thanks to them. I'm sure they have to pay him some sort of a severance pay or something. They have to. I'm sure Microsoft will. Microsoft also has a good benefits and all that. I'm sure they will take care of them. They're not going to be on the street. But the struggle's going to be trying to find a new working place. They might have to move. They might have to move somewhere else. You know, being a developer for a different studio, you might have to move. They might have to sell their house and move somewhere else. That also complicates things for your family and wife and children, right? Now you got to move somewhere else because you need to work for this studio that's in New York, LA, and you got to make the move down to LA or whatever it may be. Right? So, but I'm sure they will take care of them. They'll give them a severance pay or something. I'm sure benefits, whatever the package, severance package deal, whatever they have. I'm sure they will take care of them. But either way, it sucks. You know, losing your career dream job, it always sucks, man. And especially when you didn't do nothing wrong, you were just unfortunate times of unfortunate decision making. You know, it is what it is. Wow, we had what, 2 hours? 2 hours of conversation already. It's been 2 hours already, man. OG Majestic Lion is here. Welcome back, OG. Well, since you're here, OG, I'll have you have the last word. Have the last word, OG. Tell me in your own words. What do you think? I think I already know what you think because we already kind of talked about it on the previous stream. But here, let me ask you this. OG, here, let me ask you a question. Maybe it's better if I give you a question. Do you believe? And I asked this question. That's okay. We've been doing this for two hours already. This podcast has been around for 2 hours. But here's the question, OG, I want to ask you. Do you believe, and just remember, I asked this question to everybody. Do you believe that Phil Spencer should have been more transparent with the Xbox owners? For those of us, obviously, who are the Xbox owners and support the Xbox, do you think he should have been more transparent about the decision making, transparent about the studios as to why they're buying them? Or do you believe that he was under a gag order not to give away too much information as to why these decisions were being made, and that these decisions didn't necessarily come from him, that these decisions actually came in from the above? I know it's a two-part question. I know it's a two-part question, but I just want to give you something so you can, have some basis on it. I know it's a two-part question. Sorry about that. So I'll just give you some time to type it in. All right, so OG says, Majestic Lion, yes, for sure, transparency should be number one. But I can also see both sides. Phil might have been pressed to not disclose information soon because the big final night be around the corner in regards to Xbox future plans. That's exactly what I was referring to earlier, where I said, well, that's what the Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media Gamer Man said as well. What if he was gagged? There was a gagged order. Like the CEO of the Microsoft had a meeting with Phil Spencer, Matthew Booty, and Todd Howard, which is the president of the Bethesda and Xenix company. And maybe they had a meeting in Seattle, Microsoft headquarters, with the Microsoft CEO. They had a board meeting, and Phil Spencer was probably there with Matt Booty, and of course, maybe through Skype, Todd Howard, and maybe they had a conversation about what their future plans are regarding the new Xbox console, regarding the plans on the xCloud and remote playing, having the handheld device and some other devices that they're thinking about investing the money in a production to work on. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they had a conversation. Around the table, and they all have to sign the agreement. Obviously, you're not to disclose this information. If you disclose this information, you will be fired and prosecuted, whatever, lawsuit. That could be true, and maybe that's why Phil Spencer can't make any statements at the time, right now. I'm sure he wasn't pleased knowing what I know about Phil Spencer. I'm pretty sure the guy wasn't pleased about, losing these 4 studios. I can't imagine Phil Spencer being happy about this. I'm pretty sure he might have said something to the CEO of the Microsoft. They were sitting around the table. I'm pretty sure Todd Howard might have said something as well. But I can't see Phil Spencer being happy with this. He probably might have said, with all due respect, sir, I don't think this is the right decision to make. There's other ways we could get the money to work on this. But, shutting down these studios, I think it's wrong. But then again, you got to remember, man, when you have these business meetings, when you're sitting around the table, these CEOs, man, with a suit and their Bentleys and Rolls Royces, and their Ferraris, all they see is profit, dude. Ones and zeros. They don't care how many people you have to lay off. They don't care who you have to cancel, who's the developer, what your relationship is with that studio. They don't care. I'm sure Phil Spencer might have said, hey, I have a great relationship with the president of the Arcane studio. I have a great relationship with Todd Howard. I have a great relationship with those Japanese developers. you know, that created the evil within, and what you call it, Ghostwire, right? But, and there's another game, Hi-Fi Rush, right? Hi-Fi Rush. Is it Hi-Fi Rush? Yeah, it is. But the bottom line is, these CEOs don't care, man. See, this is what people need to remember. These CEOs don't care. All they care about is ones and zeros, business, right? And that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, honestly, you know. That's what I'm thinking. So maybe this was not a Phil Spencer call. See, maybe people are looking at this differently. What's the name of that game? High Rush or Hi-Fi Rush? What's it called? I'm starting to think. You see, I'm looking at all the options, bro. I think we might be looking at this. Hi-Fi Rush, yeah. I think we might be looking at this. I was thinking about what you said to me, OG. You know, I know that some people, you know, look, man, everybody's got their own opinions, and I know everybody's going to be subjective when it comes to this subject, and that's okay. I respect everyone's opinion. But you got me thinking. You got me thinking. I don't know why I can't find the Hi-Fi Rush. I don't know. But anyway. Jesus. What the fuck? Did they remove it? Jesus. No, it's got to be here somewhere. Sorry for the language. Sometimes it just comes out of my mouth. Hi-Fi Rush. See, you got me thinking, OG. See, this is why I want to listen to everyone's opinion. I want to hear what everybody has to say. Because see, now I'm thinking that maybe we're putting all this blame on Phil Spencer, and maybe it's not Phil Spencer, dude. Maybe it's not his fault, dude. Maybe it was above him. Maybe this was above him. You know? Oh, Hi-Fi Rush like that. I got you. Oh, the underscore. I got you. See what you're saying. Hold on. Oh, there's a Hi-Fi Rush. There it is. So maybe... No, they didn't take it off. No, I don't think so. It's right here. So maybe we're looking at this. Maybe we're judging Phil Spencer, you know, without knowing the full story, dude. You know, and I know everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. Even I earlier kind of jumped on the bandwagon, blaming Phil Spencer, but maybe it wasn't his decision. You know, the gripes goes up, man. Right, OG? Right, OG? We can't just say, oh, it's... Because I know, man, this happens all the time. Okay, let's say you're the property manager. Okay, let's use one example. Okay, let's say, okay, let me give, and I know OG is going to agree with me on this. OG is going to agree with me on this 100%. Okay, let's use hypothetically that Phil Spencer is a property manager of a big condominium building. Like, let's say in Beverly Hills, like a huge condominium, very expensive. Millionaires are living there, billionaires are living there, whatever. And he's the property manager of that place. As a property manager, there's a certain limited powers that you have. You still have to have a boards of directors meeting to get the budget approval, correct? To get the budget approval, to do certain contract jobs, to do certain things, correct? And you got a boards of directors, you have a treasury director, you got a president of the board, and the final decision comes in from at least 3 boards of the directors. They have to make a final vote. So let's say that Phil Spencer is the property manager, right, of this building place, of this condominium, whatever, this super expensive Bel Air, Beverly Hills, whatever place. He doesn't have a final say. He might recommend something, but at the end of the day, the boards of directors are going to make the final decision on the budget, on what decision they're going to make, what they're going to do, what they're going to build, and they're going to vote on it. And they're going to make the final decision. And the property manager, which is Phil Spencer, hypothetically speaking, even though he didn't want to do what they wanted to do, but he still had to agree with what they made the decision on, because that was the decision that the boards of directors made. And as a property manager, you have to follow through, because if you don't follow through with what the boards of directors have decided and voted on, they will kick you out, they will fire you. So it's kind of like that. So what I'm saying is, maybe he had a meeting with a CEO of Microsoft, and it was him, Matt Booty, and Todd Howard through Zoom call, and the CEO made a final decision. Says, sorry, Todd, sorry, Phil, sorry, Matt Booty, we gotta shut down those 4 studios. That's the final decision. See, this is what I was trying to bring about. That's why I'm like telling everybody to kind of ease off. Like let's think about this rationally. Let's not just paint Phil Spencer as this bad guy, this villain or whatever, responsible for everything. Let's be reasonable about this. Let's be logical about this before we start doing this, pointing fingers. Was a mistake for Bethesda to sell out to TP Microsoft? Well, that's up to Todd Howard to answer. I don't know. I mean, we definitely do benefit something from having Bethesda games. I like the fact that I have these Bethesda games on the Game Pass. I'm not going to complain about it. It certainly benefits us gamers. But was it a profitable choice for Bethesda? Yeah, $7 billion. That's right, Steven. We have to look at from different angles, dude. I always want to be a devil's advocate. See, this is the major difference between me and some other people out there, because others, they have a betting horse on the blue team, betting horse on the red team, yellow team, green team, right? I don't have a betting horse on anyone. I'm looking at it as a diplomat. Now, forget the diplomat. I guess, yeah, you could say a diplomat, like a UN diplomat, or I guess you could say UN diplomat or devil's advocate. UN diplomat, devil's advocate. Here I am. Let me look at both sides. Let me look at you first, and let me look at you over there first. You second. Let me talk to you first. Let me find out about you. Okay? Then when I'm finished with you, then second, I talk to you, and let me talk to you, see what you're all about. And then I'll make my decision what I think. So it's good to look at it from different angles, and I don't think people are doing that, man. You know, see, you got me thinking. That's why I didn't want to do a part 2. That's why I put the part 2 of Deus Ex on hold till tomorrow. Part 2, which we will do Deus Ex Mankind Divided tomorrow. Because you got me thinking about this. I swear to God, you got me thinking. As I was eating my dinner, I was thinking about you, OG. I was like, man, OG made some good points. Everybody's jumping on this bandwagon just like, you know, Phil Spencer, bad guy, you know, he's the villain from James Bond movie or whatever. I was like, well, hold on a second, you know. Let's be reasonable about this. Let's be rational about this. Let's not make these quick knee-jerk reaction judgments. Let's look at it logically and realistically. All right, let's go check it out. Hold on. Let's go check it out. I'm going to go there right now. Thank you for letting me know, Forbidden Love. Let's go check it out. I want to hear what she has to say. We're going to hear it right now. Sorry about that, guys. We're going to be gaming tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. Today, right now, is just it's an emergency podcast. That's what this is right now. Because we have this, you know, urgent situation. So, hold on. So I'm going to go type that in right now. Hold on. Let me see. Sarah Bond. She had a chat with the Bloomberg today. All right. Bloomberg TV. I'm glad you're here too, OG, because I was thinking about what you said to me, dude. What you said had a big effect on me, because I was thinking about it as I was eating my dinner. I was like, man, he made some good points. Bloomberg TV. Bloomberg. Here we go. Sarah Bond, Bloomberg. Xbox president Sarah Bond confirms Xbox. 10 minutes ago. Here we go. Watch the video, guys. Here we go.
Please welcome to the stage Sarah Bond, president of Xbox at Microsoft, for a conversation with Bloomberg's Dina Bass.
Games is going up, and the time
Hold on.
has been flat.
Spencer have been raising kind of the alarm that the video game industry is just not growing, and there's a real need to figure out how to reverse that. What's causing the issue, and how does Xbox turn it around?
Yeah, you know, the last year or so in video games, largely the industry's been flat. And even in 2023, we saw just some tremendous releases, tremendously groundbreaking games, but still the growth didn't follow all of that. And you know, a lot of that's related to our need to bring new players in, make gaming more accessible, but all of that has been happening at the same time that the cost associated with making these beautiful AAA blockbuster games is going up, and the time it takes to make them is going up. And so much of our focus as Xbox is about how we do things to help the industry all up, while also ensuring that our brand, you know, everything that we do is there through this moment of transition.
Related to some of the trends you're identifying, you know, earlier this week, Xbox announced the shuttering of 4 game studios. I know you're not the studio's chief, but how should gamers understand that move in terms of Microsoft's commitment to developing innovative exclusive games?
Yeah, you know, it's always extraordinarily hard when you have to make decisions like that. You know, I'll go back to what I was saying about the industry, and when we looked at
can I just say something? Maybe you guys here, let me show you just so you can see. I can't play the video like the video, but I can play the audio. But I'll show you just like how worried Sarah Bond is as to what she says. It's almost like she's under a gag order as to what she can say. Here, let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I just want you to see this. Here we go. Dude, she is worried, bro. Like, she's taking deep breaths, deep breaths, deep breaths, and she is like very worried. Like, she looks worried, man, and so maybe I can show you just a little bit, like right here. Here.
Related to some of the trends you're identifying, earlier this week, Xbox announced the shuttering of 4 game studios. I know you're not the studio's chief, but how should gamers understand that move in terms of Microsoft's commitment to developing innovative exclusive games?
Yeah, it's always extraordinarily hard when you have to make decisions like that. I'll go back to what I was saying about the industry, and when we looked at those fundamental trends, we feel a deep responsibility to ensure that the games we make, the devices we build, the services that we offer are there through moments, even when the industry isn't growing and when you're through a time of transition. And the news we announced earlier this week is an outcome of that. And our commitment to make sure that the business is healthy for the long term. But
see, I don't look at it that way. I think she does care. I can only show so much of this video. What I'm seeing here is a couple of things. Body language is number one. Body language is she's being very careful what she's saying because she understands that she's probably under a gag order from the Phil Spencer as to be careful what you say. What you say could really damage us. And so she's being super careful as to what she says. So that means that there's some kind of a gag order, going on where they really can't give a straight answer, give a direct answer as to why this is all happening, who made these decisions, why those decisions were made. She's not really giving much of anything. Like, she's constantly taking a deep breath, meaning anxiety, nervousness, right? That means that she's not sure how to answer this, and so she's very uncomfortable. So she's uncomfortable. But let's see what else she says.
But that said, our commitment to having our own studios and working with partners to have games large and small, we're a platform where you can play GTA, but you can also play Power World, where you can play Call of Duty, and you can also play Pentiment.
Well, GTA is not on Game Pass. So, Sarah Bond, I'm sorry, but I have to correct you on that. GTA has been removed from the Game Pass. I just want to kind of clarify on that. It's available on the PlayStation Plus, but it has been removed from the, So I just want to correct that. Because I love having my GTA 5 on the xCloud server. Really? But they brought it back? What? When did they bring it back? Let me check. Oh, shit. Well, why didn't you say so, my friend? Okay. GTA 5, where is it? Let me go like this. I don't know, man. Let's see. No. This is my version, the one I bought. It's not on Game Pass. Nope. If it wasn't Game Pass, it would show the Game Pass on it. Nope. Sorry, survey. They didn't. They haven't put it back. This is my version that I bought, that I own. Wait a minute. Nope. Nope. But anyway, besides the point, I don't know, man. Here's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at it this way. I think they're all on a gag order. They really can't say much. They're just dodging the questions. They're dodging the questions. They're not giving any answers. So is this helping them? I don't know, dude. Like I said previously, transparency is the key, man. To earn the trust. To earn the trust of the customer, you have to be transparent. You got to be honest. What is the game plan? What is the future plans? What are we doing? Why are we making these decisions? Statements are very important, because statements, and when they're accurate statements, and when they're sincere, accurate statements, then that earns the trust between you and the Xbox owners. So you can guarantee to them that, hey, we're here to stay. We're here to bring more great experiences. We're here to expand our brand in many different directions. Neo Geo games. Let me see. What is that? Oh, I got you. Oh, they got all of them, dude. Double Dragon Neo, Dust Neo, Aka Neo, Just Cause 4, Neon Racer. Real arcade games, yeah. Cool. King of the Fighters, Metal Slug. I remember Metal Slug, Metal Slug 3. Samurai Showdown, I remember this as well. Cool, man. That's awesome. And these are all on the Xbox. Pretty cool. So I don't know, looking at this interview, did my hold on a second. All right, there we go. Yeah, I know that the Grand Theft Auto has been in and out, but that's what I'm saying. You know, she said that you can play GTA currently, and this is just 10 minutes ago she did this interview. So that's what I meant by that you can't. And that's okay. People make mistakes. You know, she made a mistake. I'm sure she's under a lot of pressure. But me, I like to be factual. You know, I'm all about let's not have any misinformation. Let's be factual. Same thing when people start talking about petition. I couldn't find any petition. I know that the Dreamcast guy made a video talking about petition. But me, I like to fact check. Where's the petition for Phil Spencer? I don't see it. Factual information is the key of any journalism. Agenda is the reason why we're in this mess. Because people like to use their own agenda to benefit whatever their agenda needs. Whether it's the blue team, red team, yellow team, green team, whatever team. I'm about, like, have you ever seen The Old President's Man? Dustin Hoffman and Robert Redford. Dustin Hoffman, Robert Redford, they're working for the Wall Street Journal. And has to do with the Nixon tapes and all that. The Watergate scandal. It's all about the facts. Let's get the facts, right? It's all about factual information is the key. You know, what my opinion is, what my subjective opinion is, doesn't hold any glass of water. But the facts hold everything. You know. Can you guys hear me now? Is it possible? It's possible in 10 years that the Xbox could go third party with their software being focused on Game Pass, just like the Dreamcast, but it probable, maybe not. I think, I already talked about this with Cameron a while back. We were talking about this, and I had my predictions for 2030, 2035. I think by 2030 and beyond, the video gaming as we used to know it, with the consoles and hardware, it'll be different. People have to face that fact. People have to understand that fact, that it's going to be a different type of gaming 5 years from now, 7 years from now, 10 years from now. It's not going to be a status quo as we remember it. But that's how technology is. That's how evolution is. Technology changes, so does the evolution. And evolution changes technology. And it goes in with times. It'll be a different type of gaming we're going to have 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you know. But the brands will always be there. You know, Xbox will be there in some shape or form, whatever that is, a subscription service or PlayStation subscription service. I personally believe, and me and my friend Cameron, we talked about this, we believe that in the future, 10 years from now, everything's going to be on the cloud. You can access it, your entire PlayStation library, your entire Xbox library, your entire Nintendo library. You can pick and choose what you want, and it will be available on any device, VR, phone, tablet, televisions, whatever type of televisions we have in the future, whatever that is, whatever resolution and all that. And I think that's where it's going to be. It's going to be in that kind of a medium platform. But that's not to say that you're not going to have some sort of a hardware where you're going to be able to run it if you choose to do so. But I think majority will be comfortable with the idea of everything on the cloud. Now, there's a big negative with that. with that. I know cloud has its benefits. When you are doing something from the cloud, the benefit is I can play it anywhere, on any device, on any television, on any computer, whatever. I can play it on a calculator, hypothetically speaking. The biggest negative that we're going to have with that outcome when everything goes to the cloud is the fact that you don't own no games. You're basically leasing the license. You're paying for a lease. You're going to be leasing a license for as long as that license is there on that subscription, whatever that is, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. So that's the biggest negative. You will not own a game. You're just going to lease the game. And that's the dark times they're coming, in my opinion. That is the dark times that are coming. But this is 10 years from now. I'm going to be 55 years old when this happens. We still got a long way to go. We still got a PlayStation 6, Xbox 2, okay? It's not all gloom and doom. But it will happen, guys. Make no mistake. Nobody believed that small company like Netflix in 2008, 2009 was going to close down a big giant like Blockbuster Video Store. And I used to work for Blockbuster Video Store, but guess what? It happened. It happened. And look the major change from 2008, 2009 till now that the Netflix has pushed in terms of streaming. Changed everything. The way we look at TVs, the way we look at movies, the way we watch our TV shows, changed everything forever. So people have to accept this fact. And keep in mind, I'm a physical media guy. Nobody likes physical media than this geezer right here. Nobody likes physical media than this geezer right here. But at the same time, I can look at the trajectory of technology, business, and I can see where that trajectory is taking us. Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to be 100%. It doesn't mean I have a crystal ball. It doesn't mean I have a time travel machine. But I do have a plausible prediction trajectory. I'm looking forward to Hellblade 2. I was telling everybody, because right now Hellblade 2, it's like the biggest thing there is coming out for the Xbox. I know there's some rumors out there, people saying it's only running at a 4K 30. But if you look at the original Blade, Hellblade, if you look at this one, it has option of 4K 30 and then dynamic 4K 60 without ray tracing. So who's to say that we might not see the same thing on the Hellblade 2? You know what I mean? See, I don't like rumors. I'm glad you brought this up, paintbrush only modeler, because the rumors are just the rumors, man. Unless I know for a fact that it's coming from developers and developers are saying, okay, it's only 4K 30. So you see, like on this one, I can make myself smaller so you guys can see here. When you go to the options, see there's a graphics mode, and you can choose between a performance mode, which is a dynamic 4K 60, and then you got the enriched visuals, which is a ray tracing 30, and then you got resolution mode, which is a 4K 30, a higher resolution, let's say 1600p or something like that, at a 30 FPS. So, who's to say that Ninja Theory is not going to do the same thing on the Hellblade 2? If they've done it on this one, who's to say they're not going to do it on the sequel? You see, this is why I am very cautious when it comes to listening to different YouTubers out there. I know that some YouTubers are exploiting the Sony fan base versus the Xbox, and they're playing that game because it gives them the clicks, gives them the views. I understand that. I'm not stupid. I wasn't born 5 minutes ago. I didn't just cut my umbilical cord, okay? And I would assume people would understand that I'm not stupid, okay? And I would appreciate if people would think that I'm not stupid. And I don't like to be treated stupid. Second thing is, the rumors don't mean shit. The rumors don't mean anything to me. The rumors are just the rumors. It's like me saying I was having a beef jerky. I was having a beef jerky and bacon and eggs with a Sasquatch this morning. That's just a rumor. People are going to laugh. They're going to say, what kind of bad cannabis is this guy smoking? Did this guy eat mushrooms or some shit? Maybe it wasn't a beef jerky. Maybe it was a mushroom, right? So that's how I look at rumors. They have no validation. They have no credibility because they're rumors. Unless it comes from the source. Unless Ninja Theory makes a statement and says, sorry guys, it's only native 4K 30. That's all we have for now. Okay. If that's the statement, fine. I'll go for it. Because that's the fact, you know. So I just wish that people would, like, just stick to the facts. You know, let's stick to the facts, guys. Let's just... Same thing with this petition thing. You know, I can't find a petition anywhere that the Phil Spencer's getting petition. Where's the petition? How are you supposed to sign it? Where's the link for the petition? How are you supposed to sign the petition if there's no link for it? You know what I mean? I'm just simply saying, guys, let's stick to the facts. You know what I mean? Let's wait till the game comes out. Okay? Pretty soon, we're going to have our answers regarding Hellblade 2 and how's it going to run. Pretty soon, we're going to have our answers, okay? May 21st is just around the corner, okay? Let's just be patient. Let's just wait. And we're going to get our answers, 100%. And Andrew Gods, well, where's that confirmation? I would like to see a link. Where is that confirmation? If you can show me the proof of that confirmation that's coming directly from Ninja Theory, then fine. If you can send me that link of tweet from Ninja Theory where they confirm that, then it's fine and dandy. So this is 60 FPS. So I'm thinking, if they can do this with this game, I'm pretty sure they can patch it up and do that with the Xbox Series X. With the 12 teraflops, the memory bus speed with the SSD, NVMe, memory buffer speed. The one developer in an interview confirmed it. And what's the name of the interview? What's the name of the name of the guy who confirmed that? We need the name. We need the details. Who is this guy? I don't mean to sound like some kind of an FBI agent or DEA agent or whatever. Mark Slater Tunstall. All right, well, let me check it out. Let's see. And he works for Ninja Theory, correct? All right, so you were telling the truth. I was just looking at the IGN. His name is Mark Slater Tunstall, the VFX director of Hellblade 2. It confirmed the console versions are locked to run at 30 FPS with dynamic resolution, with no additional graphic options, such as performance mode, available on consoles. However, the PC version is not locked to this feature, and increases the FPS can only be achieved on that specific platform. So this is like the same situation that we had with Starfield. When Starfield came out, it was locked at 30 FPS. And now after a year and a half, well, not a year and a half, I'm sorry. After 1 year, after almost a 1 year, September last year, almost a 1 year, Starfield now supports 60 FPS. Yeah, but I think this is a developer problem. I don't think necessarily that the Xbox Series X cannot handle dynamic scaling resolution at 60 FPS. I just think is that they're having a difficult time trying to figure out how to run the Unreal Engine 5. That's what I'm guessing at that 60 FPS. And it's going to take some time for them to achieve that. I think down the road they're going to give us that option. But you know what? Even if it doesn't have a 60 FPS, the way I look at it is this way. How's the graphics, first and foremost? And besides the graphics, how's the gameplay? Is the gameplay pleasable at a 30 FPS? Does the Hellblade 2 requires a 60 FPS? Because the way I look at Hellblade, it's kind of a slow pace. It's a lot of this movement. You know, I don't look at Hellblade as like Ninja Gaiden or Ghost of Tsushima or God of War. I look at Hellblade as like a very slow-paced psychological Viking tale, Nordic tale, Viking Nordic tale of psychological storytelling of this Senusa Viking girl. She's having, bipolar, schizophrenic episodes, right? Hearing all these voices and whatnot. So maybe it's like here's what I'm thinking. Maybe that the developers felt like we don't want to sacrifice the resolution. We don't want to sacrifice the graphics for the performance mode. We feel that it's not necessary because it's not type of a game where you need 60 FPS. It's a type of a game where it's story driven. Yes, there's some action in it, but it's mainly story driven. That's going to give you some pretty amazing graphics eye candy, if you will. Graphics, photorealistic eye candy of Unreal Engine 5. Now, it is unfortunate, don't get me wrong, it is unfortunate that they were not able to squeeze performance mode after all these years. But again, we don't know. I'm not a developer. Do you know how difficult? Let me tell you, dude. OG. I go to the Horizon world in VR, and sometimes you can create your own worlds, right? And you have these different assets to create your own world in VR. And sometimes I go to the Horizon to create, to edit my own world, right? Do you know how difficult it is, bro, just to create your own little world in a Horizon with all these different assets? Now imagine what it takes to create a video game, very complex video game like Hellblade 2 with a motion capture, Unreal Engine 5.1, and then trying to get that to run on the Xbox Series X. You see, I'm trying to be, guys, I know some of you are not going to like what I'm saying because you're like, oh, come on, jump on the Sony bandwagon. Why can't you jump on the Sony bandwagon? Because that's not my style, guys. And I told you this many times. I'm not a fanboy. I'm just trying to be reasonable. What I would love to see Hellblade 2 run in a 60 FPS, of course. Just like I wanted to see Starfield to run in 60 FPS, but it took 1 year for the Starfield to run in the 60 FPS. But is this going to be a deal breaker? Let me ask you guys. Let me ask Andrew Goods, Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media, OG. Let me ask you guys. Is this a deal breaker for you? Remember, you can always play it on your PC. You have options. Is this a deal breaker to you guys? That on Xbox you can only play it on 30 FPS currently. Series X, I mean. And on PC you can play at 60 FPS depending what your PC rig is. Is this a deal breaker for you guys? OG says, I have tried to create something on the CryEngine back in the days, just so many tools, and to create a game from the base engine is just mind-blowing. These engines take a lot of time to create a game. There you go. You see how this, I don't think people realize how difficult it is to create these video games, man. Sleepless nights, man. Long hours away from your family. Long hours. You have to work 7 days a week sometimes. Months and months. Right? I don't think people realize what it takes, bro, to create these games and how difficult it is to build them. You know, it's a difficult task, man. Digital Foundry says, let me see. Let me go with the OG first. OG says, no matter if Unreal Engine 5 has made it easier to generate worlds, still takes time to create. Valid point, OG. Majestic Lion. Valid point. The Paint and Brush Only modeler says, Digital Foundry says, according to the trailer, Hellblade 2 resolution is around 900p over 1200p at 30 FPS on Xbox Series X, so resolution can be too low if they add 60 FPS mode. Well, yeah, but they're just looking at the trailer, so that's like kind of like apples and oranges. You know, they're kind of playing Yahtzee. They're rolling the dice, you know. So I wouldn't consider that, you know. $1200p, I would really expect more than 1200p at 30 FPS. I would like to see 1600p scaling between 1600 to 1900 at 30 FPS. Like, I want to see, and I know through Fidelity FX, through scaling Fidelity Dynamic Resolution, which is the AMD Fidelity FX, I'm pretty sure that these developers could figure out a way to scale it from 1600p to 1900p on certain levels to vary between 1600 to 1900 at 30 FPS locked. But then again, I also understand how complex Unreal Engine 5 is, Unreal Engine 5.1, and I'm sure there will be patches. I'm sure down the road we are going to get some sort of a patch update for 60 FPS performance mode. I'm confident that we're going to get performance mode down the road. Whenever that is, you know, maybe by the end of this year, I don't know. Nick says, are people going to even play it? Well, Nick, I mean, if you have a Game Pass, why not? I mean, why wouldn't I play it? It's part of the Game Pass, right? Why wouldn't you want to play it? If it's part of the Game Pass, I mean, you're paying for the Game Pass membership, might as well play it, you know. What have you got to lose? What's the percentage of people that best the first game on Xbox? Well, I don't know. I've never looked at those statistics. I haven't looked at those statistics. I couldn't tell you. Majestic Lion says some characters are created through model programs like Blender. Then the skeleton is created through a program like Unreal Engine, CreEngine for movements and textures and everything else when it comes to game development. Yeah, it's a lot of process, man. It's a lot of moving parts, dude. I was just looking recently when I was searching for the Hellblade 2 confirmation on the 30 FPS on Xbox. I saw some videos regarding just the amount of effort it takes to create, to do motion capture, to do all of this textures and all the moving parts that surrounds the Unreal Engine 5 and 5.1, right? It's not easy, man. It's hard. It's hard, you know. And we have to be aware of that, man. We have to be aware of that. Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media Gamer Man says, I don't play just one system. If on Xbox or PlayStation I'll get the same game. I just play games. I don't have a reason for 30 frames, 60 frames. I'm kind of the same way. Hey, what's up, DJ Dana G? How you doing? Welcome to this long 3 hours podcast, man. We're almost done. You heard that the Ghost of Tsushima has delisted from the Steam over PSN. I don't listen. This is a terrible decision that Sony has made. That they're forcing a PC users to subscribe to a PlayStation Plus membership, which is so ridiculous, dude. Think about that. I'm on a PC for a reason, right? Either A, you release your PlayStation game on a PC or don't. But don't force me. Let's say I don't have a PlayStation. Let's say hypothetically I'm a PC guy, I'm a PC guru guy, everything I do is PC. Why would you want to force a Steam users to pay for a PlayStation Plus membership? Why would you want to do that? I am on a PC for a reason. If I wanted the PlayStation, I would have bought the PlayStation. I would have subscribed to the... Well, I am, because I have everything. But let's say hypothetically, I was the guy that only has a PC, right? DJ Dana. Gee, well, guess what? I only want to play on PC, on Steam. Everything I do, it's my ecosystem, right? My ecosystem, it's Steam. Everything I do, it's Steam. Every game I play, it's Steam. Therefore, only my Steam account. So why would I want to subscribe to a PlayStation Plus just to play a 1 game or 2 games or 3 games on a PlayStation on a PC? Yeah, that's a good point. It's and Sony really well, Sony made a couple of mistakes recently. Sony should have never forced Shift Up to censor anything. Not that I cared about the censorship, but that Sony also put a foot in their mouth when they told the Shift Up, oh, censor this, censor that. Now, there were certain things in there clearly needed to be censored. And we're not going to talk about that, but that clearly needed to be censored. I'm okay with that. No issues. Anything that offends or that has any kind of hatred needs to be removed. But as far as like showing a little bit of a cleavage, showing a little bit of an ass, I have no problem with cleavage and ass and all that. So Sony put a foot in their mouth when they told the Shift Up on the release date of Stellar Blade to censor these costumes, like a bunny costume, right? The bunny suit costume. Let's censor it. And then, over the weekend, a lot of PlayStation members were unsubscribing, canceling their PlayStation memberships to protest. And guess what happened? Sony was like, "Oh shit, man, the hell with a censorship, the hell with a bunny suit. Let him have it. Okay, let's tell him, hey, we're not gonna censor the bunny suits. We're not gonna censor the cleavage and all that." So Sony made that one mistake with the censorship, and then they made a second mistake, forcing, like you said, DJ Dana G, forcing Steam users to purchase a PlayStation Plus membership for $18 a month. Why? I think so too, man. I think Xbox will be fine. I think a lot of people are, overreacting on this, Then I hear all this nonsense, people saying that the Game Pass has no value. That's such a nonsense. Let me tell you. I was absent, DJ Dana, I was absent for like 5 months. I wasn't using my Xbox because I was, doing some other things. I was busy with the VR, with the MetaQuest, and doing some other things. So I canceled my membership for the Game Pass, and I haven't used it since December. Now, a few months later, I come back. And guess what? I realized how lonely it is, DJ Dana. How lonely it is without the Game Pass. Bunch of games I can't play. I can't use the xCloud. I can't play it on the PC. I realized how lonely it is without the Game Pass. But once I subscribed to Game Pass, I realized how good it is for that $16, dude. The amount of games I can play, like this one, Evil West. Me and Pedro, my friend Pedro, we were playing the Evil West the other day, having a good time. Forza Horizon, good time. Cloud, everything cloud. Flight Simulator. Gears 3, man, I was enjoying Gears 3 the other day. I realized this is a great value, man. And of course, Hellblade 2, it's included. I also get to play Hellblade 2. So I see a value. When people tell me that there is no value, I tell them, are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? There is a value in Game Pass. That's just not true. People who say there's no value, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm just being honest. They don't know what they're talking about. There is huge amount of value in Game Pass. Plenty of value, man. It saves you money, dude. Let's go through the value here. Here we go, DJ Dana. Look at the value here. Let's go through all these games. I know. Believe me, I have to listen to it almost every other day. But here, let's look at the value, bro. Let's go through all these games. Come on. Look at all these games. And then people say there's no value. I mean, come on. Do you know how much money I would have to spend to buy all these games, to play all these games, dude? $16 a month, it's nothing. It's nothing. $16 a month, bro, it is nothing. In comparison, I can play all these games, click and play right away, through cloud. Yeah. This is a lot of cool games you can play, a lot of value, dude. Burnout Paradise. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even this game, Close to the Sun, it's a very interesting game, dude. I played a little bit of this, Close to the Sun. Evil West, played that as well. Dead Space. Both services. People ask me, why do you use Game Pass? I said, for the same reason I use the PlayStation Plus. I have both. I have PlayStation and the Xbox. And I have a PlayStation Plus and the Game Pass. And in both of them, I have value. I like to have the best of the both worlds. I don't like to be stuck just to one thing and one thing only. You know, this is what I try to tell people, man. I don't want to miss out on anything, dude. I want to have the best of the both worlds, man. You know, I want to enjoy variety. Look at these games. Look at Forza. Just the Forza Horizon. All the Gears games. Look at this. All the Gears. Even the Gears of War Judgment. All of them. All of the Halo games. Everything. Dude, Ghostwire. There it is. You name it, man. It's all there. Come on. Even a Hell Let Loose is there. No value? Really? Killer Instincts. Me and my brother played the Killer Instincts like crazy back in 2013, and we still play it from time to time. It's a fighting game called the Killer Instincts. All the Yakuza games. I mean, are you kidding me, dude? Madden games, EA Play, got Madden, got FIFA, you got NHL 24, Flight Simulator, upcoming Flight Simulator 2024, Hellblade. Dude, they even got NBA 2K24 and NBA Live 19, bro. All the Need for Speeds, NHL 24, NHL 23, NHL 94, even got that. All the Ninja Gaidens, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls. No value? Really? GoldenEye. I mean, come on. Prey, Quake, Psychonauts 2, Railway Empire 2, Remnant from the Ashes, which is something I wanted to play. Come on, guys. Yeah, really? It's just so untrue, man. Here's what I want to say to everybody. I get it. People have their preference, right? And that's okay. Some people love Samsung TVs, some people love LG TVs, and some people love Sony TVs. Some people love Hondas, some people love Toyotas. Some people love BMW, some people love Mercedes. Some people love Dodge, Ram, and some people love Ford F-150. It's all good. It's okay. Everybody has their own fetish. Everybody's got their own preference. But don't tell me that there is no value in Game Pass. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that there is no value here. It's simply not true, man. It's simply not true. And you don't have to love Game Pass. You don't have to love Xbox. Enjoy your PlayStation, enjoy your PC. It's all fine and dandy. But don't tell me and the rest of us that there is no value here. I mean, come on. Well, on that note, this is probably one of the longest podcasts I have done so far in a long time. 3 hours and 17 minutes and 19 seconds. I want to say thank you to everybody that came in. Thank you, OG. Yes, Star Wars Squadrons is pretty awesome. You should check it out. It looks even better in VR if you have VR on the PC. There are other things you can do on the Xbox people don't know, like developer mode gives you access to emulation. You see, I didn't know that you can do that as well. I might have to check that out. All right, so thank you, DJ Dana, for that feedback. I didn't know that. I'll have to look into that. Thank you, OG, Majestic Lion. Thank you, DJ Dana G. Thank you, Andrew Guds. Thank you, Forbidden Love. Thank you, Kemi D, Cameron D. Thank you, brother. I appreciate your feedback. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Xbox and PlayStation Disc Media Gamer Man. Thank you, the Paintbrush Only Modeler. Who else, man? We got a bunch of people were here. Thank you, Survey. Thank you, Survey, for being here. Thank you, Stealth Dragon Steve. Who else? I did mention Survey. Thank you, Survey. Always appreciate your feedback. And thank you, Pedro. Of course, my brother Pedro from another mother in Canada. And who else? We had a bunch of people. I think that's about it. And Forbidden Love. Thank you, Forbidden Love. Thank you. Great. This was great. Listen, guys, I don't want to make this announcement because I'm still in the process of, before I go, I'm still in the process of doing this. Me and my friend Pedro and some other people, we're thinking about doing a virtual reality podcast. Obviously, you're going to need to have a VR headset. You're going to need to have a Quest 2 or Quest 3 or original Quest to go to the Horizon world to do this. We're thinking about maybe doing a podcast like once a week or something like that, where we're gonna have people come in wearing in a VR, wearing a VR headset. We'll have people come in and we'll talk about different subjects. We'll talk about the video gaming, and so we're kind of in the process of doing that. When it's gonna be, I don't know yet, because I'm still kind of in process of putting that stuff together. But that's something that I have a plan on doing in the future. So stay tuned on that. I will let you know as much as I have more details on it. Thank you, DJ Dana G. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, OG. Love you guys. Be good. And don't worry, Xbox is fine. Nothing to worry about. I'm sure there will be a statement. Okay. We already had Sarah Bond. Sarah Bond already did an interview on the Bloomberg, and she will rest assure you, Xbox is fine. Sarah Bond already gave us the assurance that don't worry about it. These are just business decisions that needs to be made. Sometimes you have to break an egg to make an omelet, right? You know, it's never an easy decision. First of all, before I go, I want to say this. Facebook has done it. They laid off a bunch of people. Mark Zuckerberg had to make a statement. Apple has done it. Apple has laid off people. Other companies have done it. Sony has done it. You know, people are acting as if, you know, Microsoft and Xbox are the only ones that have actually made this decision. A lot of companies do this. At the end of the day, it's business. Money, you know, it's important, man. Gotta have the money. Gotta have the budget. Sometimes you gotta make these decisions. You know, to use that money to put it on different projects, some future projects that the Xbox has in mind when they announce those projects in the future, you know. All right, guys. Love you. Be good. See you tomorrow. Tomorrow's a Friday. It's going to be a great day. It's a Friday and it's weekend. All right? Love you guys. Be good. And thank you all for being here. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. Love you all. Be good.